Online.
On the line.
Online streaming.
Wow.
We're here.
Wow.
It's receiving our content.
They're having a white Christmas.
Well,
We don't have a choice.
This podcast brought to you by Pat Buttram.
Raw live stream. Now live.
hey, gotta take how he walked in the room. Hooey.
Hooey indeed.
Hooey McGooey.
Oh, man, I need to alcohol up.
All right. Did you tweet? I mean, you can tweet after alcohol. I'm just.
What?
Maybe. Did you tweet, or do you have a tweet
I
composed?
tweeted.
Oh.
I wrote the tweet. I didn't send the tweet.
Oh,
Well,
no.
How about I send the tweet?
Then do alcohol.
You wrote the tweet,
No,
but you didn't send it. The most important part of the tweet is sending it. You wrote the tweet. You took the reservation, but you didn't keep the reservation. That's the most important part. You didn't send the tweet. Where's the tweet? Santa Claus wants some loving.
Where's that tweet? There's that tweet. 42 seconds ago.
All right.
This is Tweetoween. This is Tweetoween.
Time to booze it up. Friendos.
Chuck put a single drop of liquor in his cup.
Have an eyedropper.
Fucking crap.
I've been working through. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know. What? Shut up.
What's wrong?
I'm just
Who are you yelling at?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck YouTube.
YouTube. Like, retweet. Done.
I didn't like it. Like buttons don't mean anything anymore.
It sends your likes to randoms.
Does it?
Yep. Says, hey, Smarmy
Really?
Jerkface liked this.
Fine. There. I liked it. Are you happy now?
I will like this tweet then.
So happy.
I have liked the tweet.
All right. Time to drink alcohol.
Nice.
Is it like rum and cheer wine? What'd you get?
It's rum and Pib Extra. Thank you very much. The extra
Time to get
stands
riggedy
for
riggedy rextra.
extra rum.
Yep, there it is. One sip, and he's like, hey, rum.
Shut up. Don't you judge me.
Judge me for having alcohol.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
You told me.
I did.
You done gone and told me.
I did done do things.
He done rumming.
Yep.
My God, does that smell delicious?
Oompa, loompa, doopity-doo. Christopher Kringle's coming for you.
Jacking it.
He's jacketing it.
Jacketed it up.
Oh my god! So how are everyone's weekends?
We went to a comic book store.
We did.
Yeah.
That was pretty
You
good.
two together?
Yeah, we did.
That was a
Little datey date.
pretty good comics book store.
Yeah.
Which one?
Mythical Mountain.
Huh.
It's in Mandarin. It's got a lot of rooms.
Yeah, it's like I think it used to be an office building,
Yeah, definitely.
and they were just like, "Yeah, we'll make a comic book store here." So like they got little rooms with
Yep.
like different stuff.
Huh.
I like it. It's neat. It's neat.
Yeah.
It's
What
neat
sort
place.
of what sort of were they themed rooms?
One room had art.
Yeah, there was an art
Okay.
room.
There was
There was a dollar bin room.
Yep.
Okay.
Way in the back. I already had a bunch of comics, and then I was just like, oh shit,
dollar bins.
dollar bins. Let's dig through this.
And then there was like the one
Chuck's.
room that was mostly toys, but then had some other like random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. So sort of a theme, but not really.
It's
It's sort of like that Oxford Comics in Atlanta
yeah,
with like the different rooms, but
Okay.
but with way less hentai.
Okay.
But yeah, it's that kind of like now we're over here, and what are all these things?
Now I'm over here. Now I'm over
Yeah.
here.
I would say not as many comics as everything else. Like it's like 60-40. 60%
They had a
stuff.
lot of comics.
Not that.
I don't know. That was a lot of long boxes.
What?
I like
Tis
I
raining.
like that they had packs. Those were cool. Like
Yes.
pre-collected things were like get the first 20 issues of this
But that's what I've started buying on
Yeah.
YouTube on
on
eBay.
YouTube. Yeah.
Oh no, you're buying comics on eBay now.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have gone a little nutty on eBay buying comics.
What did we do to you, Chuck?
I don't understand why everyone's sad about this. I'm finally in the thing that you want me to be in.
I never wanted you in the thing.
Oh, fine.
I I don't care if you're in the thing. I'm just saying I had no intentions of
Okay.
getting you into the thing.
I remember Mackie pitched like a podcast where I was supposed to read like the X-Men omnibus or something, and
Oh,
we would
yeah.
talk about it.
Okay.
And then I think I said,
Well, I
to
think
him,
we
that's
were-
one too many podcasts, Mackie.
I think that's just when we were like spitballing
Yeah.
extra ideas
Yeah.
or bonus podcast
Right.
ideas.
But 3 years later, I took it to heart and started buying comics.
Yeah. Did you though? I mean,
I did, yes. They're
I
comics.
mean, they are.
Uh-huh.
I will give you that.
Yeah. Some of them are experiments. Some of them I like the covers and want to do something with them at some point.
Okay. Okay.
Some are just my wheelhouse of trash.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's some really goofy Star Trek comics.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and say that right now. Really goofy. Now,
I can't remember. Did you say you like the Marvel or the DC Star Trek comics?
the Marvel run did not run that long.
Oh, so you're buying the DC ones?
Yeah.
Basically? Okay.
The Marvel run was only about 30 issues.
Oh.
DC went and then rebooted and went again, and then Next Gen ran, and then they rebooted that, and that went again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really ever delved into the EU of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Savick.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think they decided, hey, here's a character we could do a lot of stuff with, and no one will really mind because,
Mhm.
you know, it's Savick.
That's Kirstie Alley and Robin Curtis, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so-
mostly Robin Curtis in appearance,
Hmm.
not so much Kirstie Alley.
Okay.
More long curly hair Savick,
Okay.
not Vulcan bun Savick.
I don't know.
You know these words?
Any of these words? Yeah.
You've seen A Wrath of Khan, right?
Maybe.
Oh,
sure,
Wrath of
yeah.
And you know who Kirstie Alley is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was the Vulcan in Wrath
She was
of Khan.
the Spock lady in that.
Yeah. She was the Spock lady in that. Yes, you're right.
Cool.
Yep.
Mhm.
Totes cool.
I listened to a podcast with Patrick Stewart on it today, so I'm
Oh, so you're
Star
a Star
Trek,
Trek
yeah.
expert.
yeah.
Yeah.
Star
Star
Trek
Trek
expert.
expert. He was more talking of his Shakespearean roots and his
Sure.
proper acting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Proper acting.
Yes.
Not like that.
That thing he's coming back
That
to.
stuff for the plebes.
He actually was very spoke very highly of his time on Star Trek.
Yeah. Dogs are like, it's raining.
Good God, Joe. Man, I need some energy.
You should put rum in your drink and then drink that. 'Cause that's what I did.
We're going to bring the energy when we talk about this movie.
Hell
Am I
yeah,
right?
it's fucking Christmas and it's Murder Santa. Stabbing people with an axe.
Mhm. Yeah.
And other things.
Ask Santa what you want for Christmas.
Oh shit!
What?
So,
Street Fire.
Huh? What?
merry whatever holiday you celebrate to the live stream chat folks who are
Absolutely.
showing up. Hello, it is nice to have you here. Your presence is a wonderful present to us. And thank you, Hula, for a brand new round of holiday-themed farts.
Yay, farts.
It may be making an appearance here momentarily.
Yes.
So at least part of
Might
partially.
Part farts.
Partially.
Part farts.
So should we get this party going?
I
think?
don't know.
We could light this candle. I mean, it's only 9/11.
Whoa. Way to bring the room
13,
down.
sorry, it's 9/13.
Oh, 9/13.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
we were
that's fine.
fine by then.
Yeah, we'd already declared war on terror.
Yeah,
So-
we had. Went down the the non-alcohol pipe.
No Mackie. This week or next week.
Missing Mackie. Crappy Mackie. Not that Mackie is crappy. It's crappy that Mackie is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of Mackie.
Mackie.
It's crappy. There it is.
Let's just go watch The Apple again and come talk about that.
All right.
For the first half, and then we'll rate it. Where did I write the thing? You people talked way too much this afternoon. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think? We think it's time?
Let me check one more thing.
One more thing.
Need you to be down here.
Oh, we could have done a digital Yule log. That would have been cool.
What, for Mackie's stream thing? Or
Yeah, just in the background or whatever.
GIF.
A jife.
Oh, Jive.
A jive.
Oh, Jeeve.
Yes.
Ah,
An animated jive.
Ah, yes, animated
Hi,
Jeeves.
yes.
Animated. Jeeves.
Yes.
Jeeves.
GIF. Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. Let's get the clapper. Oops.
Oh my god.
Clapper just fell apart.
How much alcohol you had?
Enough to get Hulk strength, I guess. I didn't do anything. It just fell apart. Damn China.
Yeah.
That's what your Patreon money is going to, replacing
Yep.
replacing our
pledge
clappers
now.
every 7 seconds because they
We
break.
need another clapper.
Clapped off, apparently.
Ah.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 448.
Ooh.
Wow.
Blaze that Yule log. So I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
No
Yeah.
Mackie today.
No Mackie this week.
That's too bad.
It's too bad. But what we do each and every episode, regardless of if he's here, is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. And then we talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Yay, that is indicative of our rating system.
It is. But wait, there's more. There are also bad movies. Doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags doesn't giant bags of trash. Like
Ooh.
Santa's sack.
Yeah.
No, good
No.
things go in Santa's sack.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. We're going to have that discussion here soon.
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the holidays.
It
and
sure
we
is.
usually do a thing, like a movie related to them. I mean, one might say a Christmas movie,
ooh.
One might.
but that's sort of what we did in 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes.
I think that's definitely what we did.
The prequel to the movie we watched
Like a long time ago.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Which had nothing to do with this, is that correct?
Nothing at
Yeah.
all.
I don't remember anything about Silent Night.
Mackie
Deadly
and I
Night
are
4.
apparently only two who remember that movie.
I didn't remember. I was like, wait, what? And he was like, he started explaining it, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. It was Clint Howard, a bunch of body horror bullshit, and there were these worms that were eating things, and we spent a lot of time on rooftops, I think.
Okay,
Huh.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, all right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Up on the rooftops, Clint.
Yes. I could have used that humor 400 episodes ago there.
Sorry, I wasn't funny 400 episodes ago.
It's okay. That could have actually been the intro to that episode. I completely forgot.
It might have been.
Also, who said you are now?
Oh.
Not even me. I didn't say it. I just said I wasn't funny 400 episodes
Well,
ago.
keep the tradition alive.
Right.
Damn.
Let's get a plot summary out of the way. We usually do that somewhere
All
at
right.
the beginning.
Yeah.
After his parents are murdered, a tormented teenager goes on a murderous rampage dressed as Santa due to a stay at an orphanage where he was abused by the Mother Superior.
Yep. Yep. That's, yes.
Yeah,
It's accurate.
it is accurate.
There are
Okay.
2 Bamcast alums in this.
Yes.
Linnea Quigley.
Correct.
Yeah. And Johnny Lee Miller?
What?
No. What?
No.
I don't know. I don't know why that name was the first one to
No.
come to my
Star
head.
of
Guy,
Hackers?
that guy from
Yeah.
Hackers was not in this. No, Linnea Quigley, who was
Somebody
in,
was talking about hackers earlier. I'm sorry.
It's probably a good conversation. She was in Get Crazy, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Night of the Demons, Dead Heat, and The Guyver. Also, the mom in the opening sequence of this film, Tara Buckman, she was in Never Too Young to Die.
Oh.
Never too young.
A.K.A. Stargrove.
Stargrove. Also, she was in Roller Coaster.
Never too
okay.
young
So,
to die.
I initially did not put her on the list because I didn't know how small that part was and didn't really care, but
Well,
mom's in it a good.
They're both kind of equal, actually.
Yeah.
As far as
Linnea
time-
Quigley also not in
time
this movie
served in
very
this
much.
movie.
Her breasts are in it a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
As is tradition for these
As
kind
is
of things. Yeah.
You'll bury your breasts.
Indeed.
Yeah, so... Caveat, disclaimer, if you will.
Go on.
This movie kind of breaks one of our keywords.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's,
a little bit, yeah.
It's approaching it.
It starts that twice, but never really. It never gets to the point where the keyword actually shows up on IMDb. I'll say that.
Well, all right. Well, that's just an oversight, I feel, because... No, don't.
It's attempted keyword.
Yeah. Anyway,
Attempted keyword.
fine. But yeah, so the intro part of this movie is a little weird because family is driving apparently a really long distance
Yes.
to visit grandpa in a mental hospital. To the point that, like, kid is complaining, like, you know, are we even going to be back in time for me to go to bed for Santa to come? Because they're like, I guess it's Christmas Eve, time to go visit comatose grandpa in a mental facility somewhere that, like, you know, they drive in the middle of the day and they're arriving in the middle of the night back.
Correct.
But they go there and he's completely catatonic. And they're like, well, you know, good to see you and everything. We're going to go in the other room and leave Billy, the young child here,
Yeah,
alone.
the doctor wants us to look at the chart for Grandpa.
Yeah.
You stay here, Billy.
And it's mom, dad, Billy, who's about 8, I guess.
Sure.
And then there's a little infant child, too.
There is.
And they take the infant child with them, and they leave Billy behind with Grandpa. And then it turns out Grandpa was faking it. So he comes back, and he's just like, hey, don't call out for your mom or anything. You know, you should watch out for Santa. Basically, he just gives them, like, an evil Santa hype speech.
Yes.
Of, like, you haven't been good all year, have you? And he's like, you know, Santa doesn't just bring presents. He punishes the naughty.
Yeah.
And gets all in his face and basically terrifies the kids. And then the parents come back in and he's back to, like, you know.
He snaps back into
Yeah.
catatonic mode.
And, you know, Billy doesn't say anything, just gets back in the car and they're riding back. And that's when he's like, you know, hey, you know, is Santa going to punish me, for being bad? And they're like, what? What the hell?
Where'd you hear that?
And Grandpa told me. And he's like, they're like, wait, what?
Grandpa, what? That's nuts.
That
no.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Simultaneous to this, there is a convenience store. A Santa walks in, like a guy dressed as a Santa walks in, and the guy's
I know
like,
this one. Wait.
Yeah. And the guy's like, damn it, because, like, everyone, for some reason, like, everyone hates Christmas in this, but they
Yes.
have Christmas music and decorations up, and this guy's just like, these fucking songs, which, actually,
Yeah.
I'm with him. But Santa walks in, he's like, God damn it, it's not enough that's on the radio. Like, now this shit's walking into my store.
Yep.
And,
Literally.
And then Santa's like, oh yeah, well, ho ho ho, I'm here to rob you, because I have a gun.
This is a ho-ho hold-up.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And the clerk's like, yeah, well, I also have a gun, but I'm just going to not use it yet, and then get shot by Santa.
He
Right.
starts to wave it at Santa, but
Yeah.
Santa has the drop on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, Santa murders this man, walks out, and realizes he's stolen $31 and murdered a man.
Uh-huh.
And
I don't
then-
think he was too upset about murdering. He was upset about the $31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
But that's kind of what happens when you rob shitty convenience stores. Don't rob. I mean, don't rob. Period. Let me just stop that sentence
Okay,
there.
yep, that's
but
good.
specifically, don't rob shitty convenience stores.
Right. Sure. Why not? On the slowest night of the year.
Right. So yeah, that happens, and it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna be this kind of weird ass movie. And then family's still driving. It's now the dead of night, and they spot a stopped car ahead of them, and it's the Santa from earlier.
Yeah.
who's-
And like this is at the height of young Billy's freak out about
Yeah,
Santa's going to
exactly.
punish him.
Right.
And then it's like there's Santa and they're like, "Oh, look, Santa, let's help him out."
right.
And Billy's like, "No.
No.
Dad, run him over. Murder Santa." And they're like, "Ah."
And
come
Billy was right because they attempt to help Santa, and then he's just like, well, like, he's like, do you need to lift Santa and everything? He's like, no, not exactly, and brandishes the gun, and Dad, thankfully, Santa has a momentary moment of humanity because he looks in the back and sees the kids and pauses for just a second before shooting the parents.
Yeah.
And Dad throws it in reverse, basically gets this car stuck in a ditch, and then Santa's just like starts shooting and murders the dad through the windshield.
Yes.
So Dad just, Billy immediately, like as soon as the car stops, jumps out and runs and hides in the bushes.
Yes.
Leaving the baby behind, leaving everyone behind. Dad just falls out of the car dead. He's, no drama there. It's just he was shot in the reverse thing.
Yes.
Then you get some menacing of the mom and the attempted keywords, as we mentioned earlier. And then he just slices her throat, and then I think shoots her, or does he just stab her? I don't know. She's dead.
He just cuts her throat
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he rips her shirt open, and she's like, "How dare you slap?" And then he's like, "How dare you slice?"
Right. And then calls out for the kid, and it just kind of like fades away as he's like, it's all.
It's like close-ups of bloody knife
Right.
and just like, "Kid, come out of the bushes!"
And kid freak out like montage thing, and then it's just like several years later.
Yeah.
And
it's all super uncomfortable and
Yeah.
like really off-putting. It's a start to a movie that lets you know what kind of movie it is, which is it's going to be unpleasant.
right. And plus, like all this dissonant music is playing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
It's just
there's-
banging on
Right,
synthesizers and sleigh bells and shit. Yeah.
right. Banging on synthesizers and sleigh bells and shit. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's my
Christmas time.
that's my Trans-Siberian Orchestra cover band. Anyway, yeah. So cut
3 years later.
3 years later, and Billy's in an orphanage, and it's a shit orphanage. Because
Are there any good orphanages?
well, I would hope. I mean, I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't have a lot of experience. I mean,
There's never been a good one depicted in film.
No.
I'll say that.
other than the person that ran the place, the one in Annie was kind of fun. Like, other than the shitbag.
Well, they were singing and dancing,
Yeah.
but they were sad urchins.
They were, yes, but
Searchins, if you will.
Oh, like Bing?
I think they were searching
Yes.
for some new parents. Well, what the hell's wrong with
Zing,
us?
Zing Crosby over here.
Bing Crosby, the singer that brings you the boobs.
Right. Boob Crosby.
Anyway,
Boobs.
yes. So Billy's living in an orphanage. Now, I think this movie's biggest sin, if you will, is
Ding.
that the baby survived and is in the orphanage with him.
Correct.
And there's only like one line of dialogue where it's like, "That's my brother,"
Yeah.
or something like that, to even let you know, because you never know the fate of the Santa killer from the beginning. You never know if the baby survived. You never know like how Billy got away, how he was found. They don't show you any of that shit.
Right.
And so his little brother is there, but like the movie does almost nothing to alert you to that.
No. There was one bit of dialogue when all the kids are outside,
Right.
and like one kid says to the baby
Yeah,
brother,
what's wrong with your brother?
Your brother is insane.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a shitty orphanage. There's one nice nun, there's the one nice nun who's like basically saying like this kid needs, mental health, like not religious mental health, like actual,
Yeah.
maybe
don't beat this
psychology.
child. We need to help this child.
Right.
And
And it's-
Mother
and-
Superior's like, nope. We're
Yeah.
gonna torture this child until the child stops being
And Sister
evil.
Margaret, the good nun, is basically like, hey, it's have you noticed it's only around Christmas he goes into like this catatonic state, and it's like maybe because he watched his parents be murdered by a guy in a Santa Claus costume. I'm just a thought, and she's just like, well, we'll just beat that out of him, and and tomorrow he's going to sit on Santa's lap.
Yep.
And of course he freaks out because he's sitting on Santa's lap and he has flashbacks to his parents being murdered. I don't know if he saw the people fucking before that or after that. I don't remember what point it
So
was.
he had been sent to his room by Mother Superior for something,
Right.
and then the nice nun comes and says, "Okay, why don't you go outside and play?" And as he starts to do that, he hears the people fucking,
Right.
and goes and watches them fuck, and then Mother Superior,
It's another one of the nuns and somebody.
and a dude. So Mother Superior catches him doing that, and then goes in there and beats the people who were fucking. And then she punishes him for leaving his room when,
Right.
even though she didn't say he could.
Right.
So she beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And
the
then he,
other nun
then he
did
has
say,
a
like-
nightmare,
Yeah, then he has a nightmare, wakes up. That's
leaves the room again, and she responds to that by tying him to the bed.
yeah, while he's screaming,
Yes.
to the one nice nun, please
Right.
let me go.
Yes. So then the next day it's Christmas, and Mother Superior is like, I've gotten the evil out of that child. Everything's great now.
Yeah, we're gonna make him sit on Santa's lap, and of course he freaks the fuck out.
Freaks the fuck out to where he just
It's
Hauls off
It's a
and-
really good left hook on Santa.
yes. For a kid punching an adult in a movie, it looks really good. But
Yep.
yeah, he punches the fuck out of Santa to where Santa has blood just dripping down the. Oh yeah,
They don't say
Just
what
draw
it is.
a Christmas
Draw
thing.
Christmas, and of course he draws like Santa murdering people, and they're like, demons in this child, you know, all that
Yep.
kind of bullshit. This is a ringing endorsement for the Catholic Church, by the way. This whole movie,
It's real good.
yeah. But that's what precipitated all this, and then it's just like 10 years later, doodle and it's Sister Margaret like in this toy store, basically going like, hey, you know, we got this kid, he's 18, he needs a job, and then I guess he's the owner dude.
This is such a weird
It doesn't make sense because
scam.
like I don't think like they never say his first name is the name of the toy store,
Yeah.
so I don't know if
Ira's
he's just the
Toys.
manager. I don't know if he's the manager or the owner. It doesn't matter. But he's just like I don't need a kid. I need a man because it's a stock room job or another. And
I need
she's
a
like,
stock man,
she's like, well,
not
why don't you meet
anchor
Billy?
lady.
And then you know, and Billy walks in. He's like, you know, 6'2",
Yeah.
you know, blonde,
ripped.
ripped dude, and he's like, oh, I guess you start on Monday here. You know,
It's such a weird setup. Like why she's not cluing him in that no, dude, he's a dude, not a boy.
right?
And then it's just like, and here he is, and the camera does the whole weird pan up thing, and it's just like, what is this reveal? What are you doing? And then it also makes it seem like the owner/manager guy is like, gulp, a handsome man. Yeah, he could work here.
man.
But like that, nothing ever comes from that either. But the one thing about this dude, and this dude, by the way, is the guy who kept getting hit by lightning in the great outdoors.
Right.
He fucking hates his job.
Yeah.
Like if he's the owner of this toy store, he went into the wrong business because like there's this montage of Billy like assimilating into normal life and doing stockroom things and kind of like making gooey eyes at this one girl and everything. But then as the montage progresses, dude comes in and unveils this banner saying Merry Christmas with a big Santa in front of it, and then that's when Billy starts freaking out. And then we are in Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is just nonstop complaining the whole time. It's just like, I can't wait till this shit is over. It's like,
so there's that guy like you know like I hate these fucking kids, these little bastards. I hate Christmas.
Yeah,
and
it's
I hate the time of the year where this store becomes profitable.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, the guy who owns a toy store.
Right.
Like you cannot hate Christmas.
So there's
that much.
there's that guy. There's like another older lady who kind of
She's like a proto Ruth Buzzy.
yeah, and it's like she kind of has the hots for this dumpy dude for some reason.
Yeah.
And then there's the like knockoff Joe Pesci guy that works in the stockroom who's just a shithead to Billy all the time.
Yep.
Then there's like discount Diane Franklin that works there too.
Yes.
And there was like a blonde that worked there too. But
There was.
she just disappears.
Yeah.
Like she's just like
She's
gone
just
at one
window
point.
dressing, yeah.
But yeah, like they're marching towards Christmas, and Billy's becoming increasingly more catatonic and clumsy, and he has at one point he has a dream about discount Diane Franklin, and then Santa comes and murders them for having sex.
Yes.
And then he wakes up and all freaked out about that again, and goes in the corner, just like, and it flashes back to like same thing he was doing when he was a kid. Like I'm nice, I'm not naughty, don't punish me.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's Christmas time, and it's like I think it's like Christmas Eve, and their Rent-A-Santa like broke his ankle ice skating or some shit. So they're like, well, this seems like a good idea. Instead of like dumpy guy who's already kind of fat and could and old,
Yeah.
like instead of him playing Santa, he just doesn't want to do it. So they're like, Billy, why don't you be Santa? And
just cut to Billy being Santa.
right, and
Why?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he say no? Like it's obvious he doesn't like Christmas and or Santa.
Yeah.
yeah,
He could.
The movie skips a lot of human conversation.
For the sake, I mean, it's really shoehorned.
Sure.
Like there would be conflict there.
Absolutely. Like just them trying to put him in the outfit should have been enough for him to just freak out and
Right,
be like,
yeah.
no, fuck this. I'm going to murder all of you.
yeah, because then they're like, oh, look at yourself in the mirror, and he's just completely catatonic. And then he's sitting there, and like the kids, as typically being kids, are kind of scared to sit in Santa's lap.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. The whole
It's-
fucking thing is weird.
It's
I don't
mainly this
understand.
one girl who does
Yeah.
not want to be there.
And then he's just like, so you don't want to get punished by Santa, and she's just
Santa
like,
will punish you.
oh God,
Yeah.
like sit still.
And the parents are all like, "Oh, he's so good with kids.
Yeah.
Man. This is the best," and kids are running away, cowering.
Right.
So the best part about this midsection stuff in the movie, this toy store segment, is that the entire store is populated with actual mid '80s toys, and that's the best because
it
especially
kinda
so with this being on Blu-ray and you could really see shit in the background, it becomes a bunch of just like, "Hey, I had that. Hey, I want that." That looks rad. What the fuck is squirt, squirt, squirt the animals?
You're gonna have to Google that, but be careful. I mean, just
BJ's on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't know what it is.
BJ's
but I'm
behind a
saying,
proxy
like,
or
be
two.
Very careful.
I swear to God, I recognize that thing. I think it was like a tub toy that you would squirt water through these little like spinning things, and the animal picture would change.
Okay.
I very vaguely remember.
I'm on
that.
the case.
All right.
Okay, BJ's on it.
But I mean, there's like Mousetrap and Muppet figures and all these old games and shit. So.
yeah, there's like crawl board games and there's Smurf shit everywhere.
It's a tub toy.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically what you
Okay.
described.
So squirt the
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. Squirt.
My favorite Little John song. But yeah, but no, I mean, there's lots of rad shit, and the fact that it's so clear, you can read everything, and a lot of it's funny.
Yeah.
And also you get I mean, for anyone who didn't grow up in the '80s, this for some reason, despite it being increasingly towards Christmas, because like it's not really established what time of year he started there. They just
April.
they're like, you started here some months ago, and since then, blah blah blah. But like, there's Halloween costumes year round in this toy store, and you get to, if you didn't grow up in the '80s, you get to see just how shitty and how piss poor and lazy Halloween costumes for kids were, because like they would give you a plastic mask with like the cheapest rubber band that
barely
wasn't even
stapled on.
That wasn't even a rubber band. It was a piece of
Yeah.
a string of rubber, maybe a micron thick, and that thing would snap
Immediately.
if you looked at it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean that at least like looked like whatever character. But then, well, I mean, it's, like comparatively,
Yes.
And then the rest of it was like a plastic smock that instead of like let's say you got a Batman, like you would get a Batman mask that kind of sort of looked like
Yeah.
Batman '66 style Batman.
Yeah.
But then the suit, rather than trying to make it look like a bat suit, would just be gray and just say Batman.
Yeah.
Or it would have a picture of Batman
Yeah.
on it. Like I had a Super Grover costume
Yeah.
because Super Grover's a shit,
Mm-hmm.
which had the mask, and then the smock was just like multicolored and had Super Grover in flying formation on it, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Momentarily excited to get it until I put it on.
And then when I say plastic, I mean like it was literally like a trash bag with printing on it.
much.
A
Because
little thicker than a trash bag,
Yeah,
but
it was
basically
thick enough
yes.
to just really make you sweat.
yeah, I was gonna say if you grew up in the South, you had two choices. It was either raining or 90 degrees at Halloween.
Yes.
And so you were either like soaked in this shit, like like you're kind of wearing the shitty poncho that's just letting all
Yeah.
the water through, or you're just like sweating when you're not supposed to sweat as a kid.
Yep. It smelled like a tire,
Yeah.
and it was just because like
Oh my god!
I had the ET costume, and so like it had a relatively decent mask, but like the nylon bodysuit that they gave you to wear basically just had like the ET, the extraterrestrial logo on it, and just like it was just like the movie poster on your chest,
Right.
And I'm like, that's where the glowing heart should be to complete this costume. What are you
Oh
doing?
Lord, Chuck, you
were
you're
just
asking for a technology
A
in your
walking
Halloween
commercial on Halloween. It was really just your introduction to the corporations. Am I right?
Yeah, but they're on display here in all their lack
Yeah.
of glory. So,
So when you buy it from us on eBay in a week, make sure to freeze frame on that so you
Yeah.
can see all the
Yeah.
shittiness.
anyway, so yeah, Billy's becoming increasingly despondent about this whole thing. Like, his shitty Joe Pesci coworker is just like gets in his face like, "What you doing? Your fucking job?" And
Yeah.
and
He's increasingly shitty
Yeah.
for no reason.
Basically,
he's got a
he's-
Napoleon complex.
it's
He's,
just like I gotta be the heel of this whole story. I guess.
yeah. Well, he is the thing that kicks off.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah,
kicks it
because
off.
like whatever, skip ahead. Like there's a little bit of flirting between the not dying Franklin and Billy and everything, and everyone's like, "Oh, fuck Christmas" and all this stuff. And thankfully, I think before the chaos starts happening, the one good nun is kind of like, she starts having this idea of like, "Oh, it's Christmas and he's in a toy store. Maybe I should go check on him."
maybe I should check on him.
Duh.
Yeah. So, he's in full Santa getup. Then they're like, 7 o'clock, we're closed. Let's fucking get shit faced. And they break out the liquor and start drinking. And it's the saddest, dumb little Christmas party thing ever. Like,
It's the one thing they all looked forward to, and
I
it was
guess.
going to go okay until Billy murdered them
Right.
all.
It,
but
don't, Chuck. It really wasn't actually because
okay, you're right. That one part, yes. Okay,
It was going to go okay until
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not Joe Pesci guy. Like, so what starts Billy down his true maniacal path is not Joe Pesci guy is hitting on the not Diane Franklin.
Well, wait,
like,
you
girl-
didn't,
lady.
you didn't finish the nun thing. The nun lady calls the store.
Oh, right, yeah.
And is like, "Hi, can I speak to Billy?" And Joe Pesci guy is like, "Billy can't come to the phone. He's got a new job. He doesn't work all the way back here in the stockroom anymore."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, what's his job?" And he's
Let me give you a
he's-
hint.
he's-
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, he's Santa now. Click, And she's like, "Oh my god." She's supposed to be like the Dr. Loomis of this thing. Like, I know the entire backstory and I will rush to town and solve the mystery, but it's clumsy. But anyway, so now she's on her way and
Right.
calling the police and such.
Right.
So,
So,
okay, the party has commenced.
Party has commenced. Not Joe Pesci guy is hitting on not Diane Franklin and pulling out the mistletoe and all this stuff. And
He's doing all of the things where you're like,
and-
lady,
and
no.
and it's just like they're making out in the back, and of course Billy's like jealous and hates this guy and wants her and all this stuff. And then he does the classic like, "Oh, your real presence in the back. Let me go show you."
Yeah, come
And-
back here. You see it.
And I swear it's like, she's an alien from another planet. It's just like, "Oh, really?" You're like, "Oh, let me go see." And
He's like, I don't want to show everybody else. I just want to show you in the back.
yeah,
She's like,
yeah,
that checks out.
yeah.
Let's do that.
So yeah, they go back there, and you can assume what happens there.
The second gross incident of this film
And
occurs.
Billy goes back to hear/check/ go crazy as he witnesses this, and this is where he's like, "Oh yeah, well," he just goes and grabs him and uses his Billy strength and grabs a string of Christmas lights and just picks him up, like makes a
Yeah.
noose out of the Christmas lights and just picks him up because he's like
He has serial killer strength.
yeah. Yeah, because he's like, this dude's like 5'4" or whatever. And so he's
Yes.
like, I can pick you up and choke you. And rather than like have any sort of like, thank you for saving me from getting raped, she immediately goes to, you murdered him, you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Yes. I mean, that is an eventual reaction you should get to.
That is one reaction
like,
you could hit.
Like, human would be, thank you. Oh, wait, shit. That's too
Yeah.
far, but okay. Like, like there should be some momentary of like, that was an awful thing that happened. You just did an extra awful thing, so I'm conflicted and all of that. But she just immediately goes into, you're evil, get away from me.
Yep.
And so, so he murders her too.
With a box cutter.
With a box cutter.
yes.
Yeah, like. By the way, we also watched the unrated version on the DVD, so we should have like
Unrated.
we should have like prefaced that because the Blu-ray bothers to say, look, we got film and did a 4K restoration of this movie. However, the stuff that was cut, we can only find like videotape stuff, so
Yeah.
we did our best to color match and
Yeah, we matched it the best. This is a thing that Shout Factory
Yeah.
has done several times, and that they try to find lost footage and then they find it, but it's terrible, and they're
Right.
just like, well, better to put it in than not. And by the way, you have the option for both versions
Right.
in this anyway. So
yeah, we were like, we're gonna watch the unrated version.
yeah.
'cause-
So you've got a, not great, but a good Blu-ray transfer. But then every once in a while, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you will know immediately whenever a shot
Right.
is from the film that was cut out.
So what I'm saying, like, there's like,
Yeah,
pelvis,
all of the-
pelvis to sternum
starting,
cutting.
he's using a box cutter right
Yeah.
above her box, and then up. I'm sorry.
no,
No, you're not.
It's the alcohol.
Blame it on the.
Yeah, but all of like the actual violence was in the unrated cut.
Sure.
because it's grainy and
Yeah.
shitty looking.
But yes, so he murders her, and then Mr. Sims, the dumpy
Mm-hmm.
owner or manager dude, is like, I thought I heard something.
Yep.
Yeah, like this place isn't that big. He should have heard someone screaming bloody murder.
Yes,
but
you
he's
should have
just-
heard someone screaming rape too.
that too. But yeah, he goes back there and is just like, well, I guess I was just drunk and I didn't hear anything. And he's about to walk out.
Yeah.
And then Billy just comes from around the corner and just drives like a what do they call that?
It's
not
a hammer.
not a claw hammer, but it's like the ball peen hammer.
No, it's a claw hammer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I thought
It's
it was
a
like the straight kind. I thought claw.
It's just they're two different kinds of claw hammer.
okay. But anyway, he drives a hammer into the dude's head and kills him.
Framing versus finishing.
Okay. Well, this dude was definitely finished.
He was finished. Yeah.
Yes, he was with a framing hammer.
Huh? Yep. So really, it's just Ruth Buzzy Lady left.
Yeah, and for some reason, like, she gets the most drawn out, like, oh no, how's she gonna die? When she had previously the least amount of screen time of all these characters.
Yeah. Suddenly,
And-
she's the most important.
Well, it's just weird because, like, there's weird motivations with almost everyone because, like, okay, boss, he's my boss, but he was nice to me, but also he made me be Santa. So, like, there's some conflict there, but it's just like, fuck all that. We're just
Yeah.
gonna murder these people. But then, so shithead guy, yeah, he goes out by weird strangulation and he murders the girl he actually loved, I guess. but then it's like, she gets the run around and almost escape kind of death.
Yeah,
thing.
because she hides behind some boxes and knocks him over, steals his axe, which is the smartest thing I think I've ever seen anyone do in a slasher film. And then she's running towards the front door, and she's gonna axe her way through the door or the window to get out. But this store also sells deadly bow and arrows, and so Billy just immediately arrows right through her.
Well, we also used
Toy
to sell
Store.
lawn darts and
In
stuff
the
too.
80s, yeah.
Sure, I forget how deadly the 80s used to be.
We also used to have that like football chucking thing
Yep.
that would if you were within like 5 feet would
Yes.
literally murder you.
Yes, they were like leftover munitions from World War II that they just shaped into a football and gave to kids.
Yeah.
I don't remember that
What
one.
about Mortimer the mortar throwing football guy?
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, but so she's
Kills
murdered.
her.
Yeah.
And then
And then like he leaves and
Yeah.
and then
The nun shows up.
Nun shows up. And this begins the like nobody in this movie has any peripheral vision whatsoever.
No.
Because she walked like all right, so the not Ruth Busby lady is like literally dead in front of the in the Christmas display right in front of the store.
Yeah, if you opened the front door, that would literally be the first thing you see.
Yeah. So she opens it up, somehow manages to not see her, poke her in, and be like, Billy, anyone? And then finally turns and does the and then cut away.
Oh, no, dead person.
Straight to, is this the Linnea Quigley scene?
Yep.
Yeah. So straight to, like, now we're in, like, the 80s of 80s homes with Linnea Quigley and some almost William Zabka looking dude
Yeah.
about to fuck on a pool table.
Yeah.
And Linnea Quigley's little sister starts to come downstairs, like little sister,
Yes.
and is like, I want to come to see Santa Claus. And they're like, no, we're doing homework. Don't come down here. 'Cause
Very busy.
it's naughty and Santa, and go back to bed.
Yep.
Um,
And the kid's like, checks
okay,
out.
Yeah, okay. So they're about to resume the sexing, and then she's like, oh, she hears the cat. She hears the cat's collar
Yes.
jangling outside the back door. So she's like, oh, I gotta go let the cat in. Puts on pants, no top, because Linnea Quigley,
Yes, she puts on pants, but no top. And they're barely pants anyway.
yeah,
Got to keep the vagine warm
they're like those
for
Lee
not
like
William Zabka.
they're like those Lee Jort like
They're Daisy Dukes.
yeah Daisy Dukes yeah.
Yeah.
I was
But
gonna
they're,
say they're like 70s NBA shorts.
but they are the same
in jean
coverage
format.
as her underwear. Like
Right,
this
yeah.
is not providing anything else. I side with you on the warmth issue
I would hope you did.
because earlier we did have the hit song on the warm side of the door,
Right.
which is a holiday favorite.
yeah.
This is on the warm side of
The
the
vagine.
drawers.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So she goes to let the cat in.
And surprise, there was actually a cat, and it comes inside.
Yeah.
No, just be like, because she does the open the door, like stand there, and you're just like waiting for the axe to come from off screen and murder
Yeah.
her, but it never does because
No.
like cat just comes in, and then she's like, oh, cat, you're here, and then she closes the door, and Billy's like does the classic Shakva / Jason / everybody else,
Yeah.
fuck your door,
Yep. Comes right through.
comes right through, and then she screams and runs, and of course nobody else hears this. Good soundproofing in houses in the 80s.
Well, did you see all the wood paneling in this house?
Yeah.
And they had the special Tina Turner wig fern that
Right. There was a tree. It looked like a Dr. Seuss ass Tina Turner wig tree.
Yeah.
all these dampen the sound like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, plus not to mention the sweet tiger velvet paintings.
Oh,
And there were carolers outside.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't fuck because there was carolers interrupting.
So
the
they had to
rhythm.
turn on fucking music.
Yeah.
yes.
But
Funky grooves.
so
to fuck
Billy
to.
is fucked their door and
Yeah.
come on in and is like menacing her, chasing her around the room.
Yeah, he. I'm gonna make a reference that is so old. I'm not even gonna bother. He throws the axe at the wall, and she's like, "Oh, axe." And then it just. What's happening?
That was a very large ant
Where?
on the cable right there.
Get it?
No, that thing will get me back.
So there's a problem with Donna Cobble?
Eine kleine problem with Dinah Cobble.
There's the uncle.
He's over there.
Oh,
I'm watching you.
All right.
okay. Whoever said that ant can't.
They're my cousins, the giants.
Anyway.
But Billy's like throwing her around, and because it's Linnea Quigley, she weighs like 70 pounds, so it's like super easy for him to just spin her around and do whatever.
Yeah, a couple times it looks like he's going to full on suplex her.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
looks
was
like
really hoping
backbreaker,
for a suplex.
Any
Or
one of
DDT.
those.
Rock bottom.
Yeah. Instead, what he does is there's a giant antlered creature head on the wall that he decides, well, I'm just going to put her through that.
Impale her.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awfully gory.
Yes. And then, again, this is where the print is cutting back and forth from
Right.
shitty to high def because obviously you can't handle that. But it's a pretty good effect. And then the aftermath of it with her stuck in this thing hanging there is
Looks
pretty
pretty
good.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Billy did that.
What was your reference that was so old you're not even going to
No,
do?
no, I wasn't.
Oh,
gonna-
I thought you dropped it. I was like,
I did drop it.
You did?
I didn't. No, I mean I dropped it as in like I didn't say it.
Oh, come on.
No,
Come
no.
on, old man reference.
No. I was he did like the Ed Ames tomahawk throw.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know that.
You want to explain that one for everybody under
It's
65?
a very old Johnny Carson reference.
Was he a like knife thrower on Johnny Carson or,
he was-
axe thrower?
Yeah, he
Okay.
threw like this. He was throwing tomahawks at this cardboard cutout on the wall. And it landed like right in the crotch
Right in the-
area,
right in the
and it
crotch
was
area.
they laughed for like 5 straight minutes. You know, it's
Oh, one of those.
yeah. It was like when Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds were hitting each other with pies, and they were all just laughing for 20 straight minutes.
Oh,
That,
okay.
that-
Okay.
Good time, Johnny Carson. Anyway, old man reference alarm.
Right. But yeah, so she's dead, and then William Zabka's like, I was feeling quickly down under, and now I don't know what I'm doing. Well, they were in a basement, so he was literally feeling quickly down under. I mean, the most literal reference of all time.
It is. Yeah. God.
But yeah, so he goes upstairs, and again, like, walks right past her corpse hanging from a deer.
Yeah. He's like, Quigley? Where are you?
and then does the turnaround like, oh no,
Oh, God.
and starts to fall back, and Billy, of course, is there, like, ready to murder him. And he to be fair, he puts up a decent fight for
Yeah,
a minute.
yeah.
Like, he grabs a fire poker and, like, tries to fend him off,
Kicks him in the nuts.
kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're only 2/3 of the way through this movie, but it's just like, yeah, fuck Billy up. This is it. Final confrontation. Let's do this. No, that dude.
He gets defenestrated.
Yes. Oh yeah, Billy's just like, man, fuck this. Just chucks him out a window, and he actually dies from glass. He's impaled through like part of the glass, which is you never see that in a defenestration. So realistic, I think.
Yeah, well, they probably didn't have, like, the safety glass in the 80s. It was just like shards.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
And you could also buy that at the toy store.
Yeah, back
Bags
of
of
broken
broken
glass.
glass. See, I got that old reference.
All right, it's elevated a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh, and then the sister comes out because, again, she didn't hear all the screaming bloody murder, and it's just like, oh, hey,
Santa!
Santa. Not like, hey, Santa, why are you bloody? Because he's got blood in
Yeah.
his, all the white bits of his suit. The
Uh-huh.
red is good because it hides all the blood, but
Yeah.
he does the, like, naughty, have you been naughty? And she's like, no, I've been good all year. No, not naughty once.
Yep.
And she's like, do I have a present? And he's like, yes. And he's like, the whole time he's like slowly pulling out his box cutter from earlier that's also still bloody.
Yep.
And then he's just like, here you go. And doesn't murder that girl.
Nope.
And she just gets a bloody box cutter and looks at him like, the fuck?
Yep. And then cut away from that. We're done here.
Yeah.
He gave it to her early. Should have waited 2 days.
Yeah, for box cuttering day.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know you like it. Come on.
Yeah.
These are called jokes.
Yes.
Get with the picture, Chuck.
I liked it.
Yeah. But then, is it the Sledders? It's the Sledders,
It's
right?
the Sledders.
Okay, this fucking scene. All right, there are two. I don't know.
20-year-old men.
20-year-old, but also still 14-year-old men.
I
Like,
don't know.
I'm just saying, like, they
Who
look.
fucking
Their
knows, man?
their faces look 20, but the one dude's got the "I'm trying to grow a mustache" thing. Like going.
They're both from Boston, and they're underdeveloped to begin with. So it's like,
Wow. We're sorry, Boston, yet again.
Mackey's not.
Oh no.
but it's just like,
It's a
hey,
fucking wicked piss.
ride your fucking sled, and he's like, I'm gonna ride my sled, and
Like,
he's
it's
just
like 11 o'clock. Who the fuck's out here? We're gonna get some virgin snow. Only virgin you get. No.
yeah,
You know?
he's like, hey, good one. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I saw something over in the bushes.
I heard it jangling over there.
Yeah, and he's like, nah, you didn't. He's like, yeah, I did. And he's like, nah, you didn't. Ride your sled. And then like two guys just walk out from behind a bush like, hey, what's going on here?
Like then two 30, almost 40-year-old dudes walk out and be like, hey kids, you out here sledding? And
What you doing on your sleds?
No, I do like that the one kid has the presence of mind to go like, what are you going to do, take our sleds? And he's like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The one guy, I do like, the one guy is like, he's like, you know, I want to be just like you when I grow up. Ugly and stupid.
He's like, ah, and then he just gets pushed out of frame. And I think
punched
that's,
in the stomach.
yeah. And I think that he's punched out of the movie because like the two of them just run off.
Yeah, well, they do. He punches him in the stomach and he
Yeah.
grapples him for a minute. He's like, take it back. And he's like, hey, we took your sleds. We're Utah toughs.
Yeah.
You toughs.
You toughs.
And we're gonna
let's-
sled down this hill.
Let's sled, yo.
And so one guy goes down and it's like,
It is the slowest, shittiest.
It's the lamest like sled hill
Yeah.
ever because he's just like he's like pushing himself along at
Yeah.
points and like we
It's real like,
and then he's like,
you toughs
yo,
are real easy to please.
like yo, come on down, it's fine.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, here I come.
So
I'm coming down the hill.
shittier of the two shitheads that begins to go down, and then Billy appears from off screen and just goes naughty, and you just see that axe swing. And I will say, if there's one good part of this movie, it's because the cut is like you see that happen, and then down comes the sled, and you start to realize it's a headless body just riding the sled.
Yeah.
Until it gets all the way down, and the other guy at the bottom realizes it, and
He reacts in the uncut version with the best reaction.
it's so good.
His reaction is just like, ah! It's just he's freaking the fuck out.
because
I
then,
like it. It's a good freak out.
because then the head follows down the
Yeah.
hill, like
Yes.
just rolling, and then it amps up to a whole new octave.
It's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then I guess Billy comes out and kills him too. I don't remember how, but I
yeah.
think we were too busy laughing at how he freaked out.
Yeah, I think so.
But then it's like the nuns at the police station, and there's this grizzled sheriff, not police station. They're at the courthouse.
Yeah, they're at the
Like,
courthouse.
and
It's like
and
this detective who's been up all night that we've never seen before is just like, sister, wake up.
he's like, oh no,
Everyone's dead. The entire town is dead.
sleeping. We'll have none of that here. Yeah, and
Sorry, it's a bad habit.
yeah, we're just gonna make all these jokes. But yeah, so he's just like, yeah, there's been murders.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I think I know where he would go. We have to think like him.
Yeah.
So-
So he's like, oh my God, or oh my husband. And he's like, he's probably going back to the orphanage.
Yep. So they call this one cop on the radio and it's just like, hey, Santa's heading to the orphanage.
First, they tried to call the orphanage.
Oh, right.
Like they're just hanging out. Like, well, we should call him and warn him.
Yeah, we should.
And some little girl is like up in Mother Superior's office with the phone and like making her Barbie doll talk on the phone, and it's like. She's like, oh, well, gotta go. My parents never taught me how to hang up a phone. And just lays it on the
because they
desk.
died.
Because we couldn't call the authorities because I couldn't hang up the phone. So, like, you know,
Merry
they're
Christmas, everybody.
they're just getting the busy signal, and they're like, oh God. And she's just like, why would somebody be on the phone this long? And she's like, well, we should probably go there. And it's like, why the fuck
Why weren't you on the way?
Why wasn't that plan A?
Yeah. Like, well, enough waiting.
Also, look, I mean, there's again on the logics of this movie. This is 1984. I know this is Utah, and you mentioned that like perhaps not everywhere got 911 right away.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 911 was enacted in like the late 60s.
Yeah, but not everywhere.
I guess it took some time to roll out.
Yep.
However, I do believe for a very long time, police radios could be patched into telephones.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So
Sure.
you could be driving with your CB with the headquarters patching you on the phone.
Yes.
So no wasting time like sitting there dialing over and over and over again
they
to
should have
get
been on their way.
Anyway, so they're on their way. They call in random other cop, and they're like, he gets there.
He stunts his way over
Yeah,
there.
he stunts his way over there. They see us. He gets there. He's like, no sign of it. Oh shit! Because there's a Santa walking up to all the kids that have just been let out onto the playground.
Yep. And they're all like, Santa!
And he just rolls up like, no,
Free Santa.
get away! And then this guy doesn't. He just keeps going for the kids, and so he just shoots him like 4 times in the back.
Yep.
Sprays one kid completely in blood.
Yes.
All on his like hat and
Yeah.
everything.
The
It's
last 20
terrible.
minutes of this movie is just making so many serial killers. Yeah, but then it's just like they call the grizzled detective and it's just like, problem here.
Yeah.
The dead Santa is 50.
Well, because first they get the call of like Santa's down, and he's like, and Sister Margaret's like, oh no, Billy's dead. He's like, well, at least it's over,
Yeah.
and the kids aren't going to die and stuff. She's like, point, I guess. And then like 20 seconds later, it's like, it might be a problem, Chief. This Santa's like 50 years old and not like 5'6", so I don't think it's their guy.
And she's like, "Oh my God, Father Flanagan." It's
Yes.
like, he's deaf. He wouldn't have heard the cop anyway. And they're just like, "Why the fuck didn't you tell us that?"
Yeah, again.
She also says like he's Santa every year.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's like,
Santa. He was coming over today, and it's like, pertinent information.
he is dead because of you.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway,
So that guy's dead, and then they're just like, oh well, he lived a good life, I guess.
yeah. And so
he,
they're
he
all
was having a silent night.
yeah, they're all inside, and Mother Superior's still alive. Like I thought
Yeah.
that old bitch had died like
Oh, no.
somewhere in the middle of the nothing that happened.
Nope, she's in a wheelchair now.
yep.
That shows the passage of time.
Yes, she's still just cranky, and she's like yelling at this cop, and the cop's like, "I'm here to
Yeah, the
keep
chief-
you safe," and she's like,
The
"Well,
chief-
that didn't work
chief's
for
gonna
Father."
Chief's going to explain everything. You just got to wait till talk to him. And the kids start getting antsy, so she's like, break out my pitch pipe, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it because we're going to all sing off key.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Go
gotta
get
s-
my pitch. Okay.
Yeah. And then she blows in. It's like, oh my goodness! Like, ooh, this doesn't make the right noise
Like,
at all.
Mother Superior, that is not the pipe you need. You need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Anyway, deck the halls, kids.
Yeah.
Deck the halls with.
Yeah, so they're saying, the other cop's like, well, I'm going to go check the grounds, just lock all the doors.
Yep, slinking around, just looking for
And then he's like, oh,
Murder Santa.
barn door's open. Let's go check the shed. And goes down there and
Goes into like this subterranean level.
this
and
is straight movie padding,
Yep,
because this dude is
absolutely.
like absolutely just walking as slow as human fucking possible. And I guess it's supposed to be tense or
Sure.
something.
It
Because
builds the tension.
Because you're expecting Billy to pop up at any time.
Uh-huh.
And did they even do a fake out, like not a cat scare, but
Nope.
something? No, it's just Billy
just-
finally pops up and goes naughty and
he
murders.
gets all the way back up to the door.
Oh, that's right. He slinks around the base or the shed or whatever. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, you're not in here," and yeah, it gets almost all the way out, and then it's like naughty,
Yep.
axe from nowhere.
Axe to the chest.
Yeah.
He falls down the stairs. He's dead.
Yep. And then Billy just goes to the door, basically.
Comes to the front door, yeah.
And is it the brother?
No.
It's just some other kid is like Santa.
Yeah.
And
The
everyone's
second
like,
Santa of the day is
they're
here.
Like, they're like, no one is reacting properly because they're just like, sit down, don't. Where are you going?
Yep.
And so he opens the door for Killer Santa, and he just is slowly walking in, and I think about to murder Mother Superior
Yes.
first.
Yes.
And that's when he gets shot from behind.
Yes, because Grizzled Detective and Nice Sister have shown up, and Grizzled Detective just plugs him full of holes. And
Appropriate response.
Yep. And he says, "Okay, kids, you're safe. Santa's dead." Blah. And there's one kid who's been standing in the background, and they keep cutting to him, like having this reaction, looking at Billy, like, "Hey," and so you're just supposed to understand that that's Billy's younger brother.
Yeah.
That just
I'm sorry,
the movie
but
does a shit job of explaining that.
I don't feel like the age difference is right either. Like, I feel this kid should have been a little bit older.
No, yeah, because the kid was like,
I mean, because the first version, like when parents were actually murdered, Billy was like probably like, I'm guessing like 5,
Yeah.
because they were like 3 years later, and then 10 years later he's 18.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing basic math that like he was about 5, and then
kid
there's
should
a
have been
baby.
13.
This kid
Yeah.
would have been about 13.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of looks
No, this kid was like 9 at
Well,
most.
okay.
At most.
Okay.
But yeah, they just do he's just like getting an increasing like, what's his name? Danny from The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
Thing going on, and then just finally goes like naughty, and then like
He's looking at the axe on the ground and pans up to him, and he looks at Mother Superior and just goes, "Naughty."
yeah, and then
Freeze frame. Yeah,
crash
like,
into
oh,
credits.
he's Jason now.
right. Yeah,
Like whatever the fuck that one Friday the 13th was. It's like, oh no, he's been in the presence
the
of...
Corey Feldman one, like when he turns in.
Yeah.
That was
or-
more to fake him out. That was like he shaved his head so he could.
Yeah, no, it's...
Fuck with Jesus.
No, it's the end of the fifth one.
Oh,
The
okay.
Jasonless one. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah. But then the movie ends.
right.
It's over. Those kids saw 2 Santas get shot right in front of them. They are covered with the blood of 2 different Santa Clauses.
Yeah,
Happy Christmas, orphans.
yep. That's the movie.
Yeah, it's over.
There, for like half a moment, I was like, "Holy shit!" I did not expect a Stargrove to happen when behind the warm side of the door started.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's Billy's first day, and he's like picking up a box, and it's like, "I've been working."
Yeah.
and it's like I was like, "Oh shit!" Possible Stargrove, and then it just turns fucking nonsensical. It's like I don't even know what the song is about. The
Warm side of the door.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kept saying I kept thinking this is not Michael McDonald was saying the wrong side of the door, and then the very last time I was like, oh, he said warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it just means that
When you're inside.
when you get home,
Yeah.
your family's on the other side of the door.
Right.
The warm side.
Right.
It's deep.
Unless you're in Florida, and then that's opposite.
Yes. Outside is the warm side.
Yeah.
Please let me out of this warm side of the door.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's over.
not even enough for an instant, but a very valiant effort for the one friend who watched
Yeah.
his headless friend sledding down the hill.
His headless 40-year-old friend.
But close. Just not enough build up. Like, and plus the fact that it was like cut.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's rate this.
Okay.
Go for it.
Me?
Yeah. I mean, I can go.
Okay. Well, I have some words for this.
Oh,
film.
okay.
Okay, so first of all, there's a lot, not a lot of good. There's some good and a lot of bad in this movie. I like how this film takes its time and really kind of establishes all the things that make this guy a serial killer. I think that's more than a lot of these movies have ever done. It shows you just nonstop this kid just getting fucked up, and it's just like, yeah, that kid's not going to work. It's not going to work out for that kid. Something bad's going to happen, and that I kind of like that. I wish it could have been done better. This movie's been remade, so I would be now interested to see if maybe somebody picked up on that and did it better.
Right.
It does not do its slasher stuff right in that the segments of this movie feel like little mini short films all tied together by this one Billy character.
Right.
Like there are no characters that persist really throughout except the sister and the mother superior, but they don't really matter in the end. So
I mean, I feel like I haven't seen the sequel, but I feel like a better way to handle that would have been like, okay, he's 18. He probably grew up with other orphans that have now left,
Yeah.
just like he has, sort of. I haven't really understood if like he still lives at the orphanage, or if they just.
it's never clear.
It's
where
never
he
really
lives.
clear. Yeah, but I'm saying you could do like former orphans are at a party, like some connection.
Well, it's a scene early in the film with like the 4 or 5 teenage characters getting out of school for Christmas break,
Right.
or coming into the toy store and kind of like fucking with everything.
You could have had some bullies in the orphanage, and then like he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck you, bullies."
Something like that.
You've been naughty.
When he leaves the toy store, like when he finishes that carnage, you're like, well, all of that kind of made sense because they all set it up. And then he just has a naughty detector, and he just goes and just like, there's naughtiness happening, and he goes over and fucks with people, and that.
But they don't even. They really only do that like once.
Well, the kids have sex,
Right.
Naughty. Two
bully-
adults
yeah.
steal the other adults' sleds,
Oh,
naughty.
okay. Yeah, twice. Sorry, yeah.
So there's not cohesion in this movie. It's kind of all over the place.
Right.
So that being said, for the longest time, when I worked in a video store and I was going to be a film critic,
You are a film.
and I was keeping lists and all of the things, I had seen this
Were
movie.
you checking them twice?
Nope, just once.
Okay.
That's why you didn't make it.
So I'd seen this film when I worked in a video store, and there was a time that it sat atop my list of the worst movies I'd ever seen. Like this, if anyone came into the store and said, of all these movies, what's the worst thing you've seen in here? I would point to Silent Night, Deadly Night. I would say, that thing fucking sucks. It's and this was me kind of like in my weird puritanical bullshit phase of, you do not do mean things on Christmas. This is wrong. And there was a lot of that when this movie came out too, of just like people boycotting and protesting and all that shit.
Wasn't like Black Christmas like almost 10 years before?
It
this?
was, yeah.
Okay.
But people thought they'd squashed it and been
okay.
like, no, you will not do this to our Christmas.
Sure.
So anyway, I just reacted like this movie was just, how dare you, and this was an affront, and I was offended, and it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. It's so not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
There are some parts that are unpleasant. There are some parts that are bad filmmaking, but we had fun with it, and I think it's gotten this kind of cult notoriety over the years. I don't know if it deserves that much of it, especially because most people are thinking about the second one when it comes to what they're thinking of from this film. I'm going to give it to Jocks because I think it is watchable, and I think there's a subtext layer in it that you can have a lot of fun with, as we did. And in the grand scheme of of slasher films, especially if you just watch the theatrical cut, it's tame.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the rampant titties are, the most R-rated stuff of this. The kills, especially in the theatrical version, are tame.
Yeah.
So I think you can have fun with it. It's kind of goofy. It doesn't quite... It's not inept. It's not like they had kind of a clue, but just not enough.
Yeah.
It's not like the dudes in the desert who keep making the dumb rescue the that thing. It's just some sort of Utah filmmaking where they're like, okay, let's make a slasher film. So, I think it's mildly recommendable.
I would probably agree with that. Donahue did an hour on this movie. Mm-hmm. Siskel and Ebert dedicated special time to this. Like, Mickey Rourke came out and said shit about this movie.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney. Yeah. Well,
Mickey Rooney or Andy Rooney?
Mickey Rooney.
Okay.
Yeah. He took a big stand against it, and then he was in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, and people were like, "The fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Working, bang." It's
yeah, I mixed up my Mickeys there. Someone slipped me the wrong Mickey. But like,
so much copyright infringement.
That, I think, is why this movie has notoriety at all. Otherwise, it's just... I mean, maybe it's my, blasé 2018 self. I've
it
seen
is a
some
different
shit.
world, yeah.
But I mean, okay, it's Santa Claus murdering people. We loved Santa's sleigh last year. Was it last year? Jesus.
I think it's longer than that.
Whatever, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's just the past now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it's fine. There's nothing like... Especially if you consider what was in the theatrical cut versus this one, because it's a little bit gory in this one, and I can see why people might be a little bit upset about the uncut version, but the theatrical version is not so bad. It's Two Jocks movie. It's pretty decent. There's nothing really wrong with it.
It's breezy. Like, when
It
it's
is,
over, I said,
yeah.
this movie zips. Like, it's just...
The ending is also feels abrupt. So,
yes.
Like, it's just like, all right.
Bullet
he's
stopped
dead.
him.
Yeah.
His one weakness. Multiple gunshots.
I think I can only give it a single Jocks, and
Okay.
here's why. Like, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I mean, I think if you watch the theatrical cut, this movie would be extremely tame. However, I feel there is some just straight up bad filmmaking. I mean, it's more competent than you said, like the random team rescues people movie things, but and the Blu-ray transfer looks amazing when it's the good stuff, not the grainy found footage stuff.
Right.
Not, you know what I mean.
It's literally footage they found.
Yeah. But I have a problem, and I don't know. I don't know sequels. I haven't seen other than 4, which apparently has nothing to do with it.
You don't remember it anyway.
Yeah. Of all the people who actually did something, the fact that Mother Superior makes it to the end,
Yeah.
that's like, no, fuck you.
Yep.
Like that's of everything this movie is doing, it's like, no, there is literally one person in this movie who probably, I mean, I don't know if what she did deserves death, but she deserves
In a slasher film.
Yes, in a slasher film sense, where common moralities go out the window. It's like, well, this is obviously the one person that deserves to die.
Yeah. There's a code.
Yeah. And so, like, that alone just, like, really, really, really pisses me off, And I was like, well, okay, he's going to get one kill. Kids will be fine. They'll be further fucked up, but,
Yeah.
But no. I feel like anything I was actually kind of enjoying this movie falls apart in the last 20 minutes. Like, I just feel like the last 20 minutes of this movie is just a mess. It's just that doofus cop wandering around for way too long. The other people just, like, making the dumbest decisions possible of not going there immediately. And then it's just like, well, the one person who's probably most evil in this movie, actually, besides the guy who murdered his parents, who also just disappears without any sort of justice that we know of.
Yes.
It's like those two people escape, as far as we know, with their lives. And it's like, no, like, fuck that. So I don't know. It's just, I don't hate it. It's just, it's very annoying on that level for me. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Single Jocks. I mean, I would recommend it because it's a thing. Obviously, I mean, if you grew up around this time, it's controversial or whatever, but and I guess it's regained a notoriety of some sort. But probably, like you said, I think a lot of people are confusing. I think as soon as we announced we were doing this, everyone was like, "Oh, that scene."
Yeah.
It's like no,
that's
not on this one.
Next one.
But yeah, it's you could have fun with friends. It's goofy.
I recommend you watch it.
I'm curious because, like, I mean, other than the gore stuff and the freak out, like I can't decide what I would recommend between just watching the regular one and the uncut version. Like, I mean, because I can obviously go like, well, that would be gone, because you can easily tell what footage is
Right.
is from the uncut stuff. So other than losing the friend's freak out, like
It just seemed like some of the kills were completely neutered in the theatrical one. Like
Yeah.
when the lady gets shot with an arrow, you barely see, you don't see it hit her, and you don't see pretty much any of the aftermath. And it's like, well, okay, what happened? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like when the headless body comes down on the sled, the headless body part is cut, but the head rolling down is in the theatrical cut. So that's all you got to see.
Weird.
Yeah, it just seems like the theatrical cut would be pretty disjointed.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And there's some minor establishing shots
Yeah.
that are cut out of the theatrical cut.
There's
that-
weird like walking from point A to point B
Yeah.
shots that they're like, yeah, why,
Yeah. There's just other little things like it's like editing in this movie. I think is just in general weird. Like things that were cut obviously to appease censors and actually get released or whatever, are one thing. But then like little things like when they're the whole long trip to go see catatonic grandpa, like there is a shot that says like Utah whatever mental hospital.
Oh, and it lingers on
and,
that.
and it's just like, okay, I could read that like 3 seconds ago. I don't need the camera to keep going forward. And then when it finally gets to its finished, tracking shot,
Yeah.
it just sits there. It's like, I'm not a member of this facility, so I can read that.
yes, exactly.
So I don't know. It's just like it's little things like that are really annoying from a filmmaking standpoint. Of like, wrap it up, B.
Well, also, I think it's kind of weird how they established the hell out of that grandfather, and they never. Why would there be? There's never any kind of like, here's what happened to grandfather or anything. But
Yeah.
also, you would think at some point, maybe he would either show up or Billy would go there or be like.
You would think. I mean that.
It just they give that character so much of a build up, so much of a like oh, he's catatonic, oh, he's faking, oh, he's evil. It's like he planted the whole seed for this to start.
Yeah.
So
and when this movie was made, you can't really say, because I mean, look, if you go back, besides Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a complete and total movie in and of itself with kind of a bullshit ending, but I mean, but I'm saying like the first Friday the 13th, not a very good movie.
No.
Like I mean, it's it's
It
important,
kills.
I guess, but it's like it was a lot of like dangle this because we know we're going to make sequels, and I don't know if like this was released in a time where it was like, oh, you just make a horror movie and you're going to get to make like 5 more. Like this wasn't really in that like sequelize a horror movie a whole bunch of times because they're cash cows. Like the fact that like so much of this plot feels like they were dangling stuff for a sequel. Like, oh, we can tell the story of how Grandpa got crazy and
Right.
maybe he was a axe murdering Santa when he was a kid, or
Right.
or got terrorized by
Yeah.
some prequel bullshit that you would see now. It feels like all of this stuff is like, no, that's just bad filmmaking. Like you weren't setting up a universe or anything. It's just you didn't
Right,
know, you didn't
no.
know what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah.
I think we look at it maybe from a lens of like, well, that's obviously like you could explore that in another movie, but I don't think they were thinking that.
I think they just left shit open
Yeah.
because they didn't have a clue
yeah. So I don't know
for
It's-
certain things.
Like I said, it probably sounds like I dislike the movie more than I do. I just like the resolution thing is just really annoying, and like I said, just dumb leaps of logic, like calling the operator instead of calling 911, or at least like no, I feel like for emergencies, do people really just call the operator? That just seems like the most inefficient thing. Like you would at least, I would think you would know they would have like an emergency phone number for the police, or reach out to the police department directly.
I'm willing to bet that in bumfuck Utah, Wasatch County, Utah, wherever the fuck that is,
Yeah.
they just hadn't had a 911 implemented. It's easier for them to just go hit the operator
Yeah.
because it's just a 0 as opposed to
I don't know. It just
3
seems
numbers.
inefficient, especially if like there's a murderer in your
Yeah.
store.
Well, I mean, nobody can predict a murderer coming to your store, but that's an easy leap of logic for me to get over.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's not one that sticks in my craw, if you will.
Okay. Anyway, let's take a break, shall we? Oh, did you have more?
Real quick before, if you want to stick some of the movies that we've been watching into your own iCraws, check out our eBay auction page.
Yeah.
Just search eBay for BMFcast, I think.
There's a button on the
There's a
website.
button on the website.
There you go.
I'd say put them under your tree, but we won't get them there in time.
Yeah, no.
No,
Sorry,
probably
I
not.
mean,
No.
we might do what we need to do, but the post office,
Right.
it's not happening.
We will be shipping as fast as possible. Chuck is our human-shaped shipping machine, and he's good at it.
I am human-shaped. Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, the proceeds
that
go
was
to...
the nicest thing you've ever said to Chuck.
Pretty much, yeah.
I've said a lot of nice things
Oh,
to
that's
Chuck.
true.
He's a sweet man, and I love him.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. And anyway, all of our proceeds go to charity. We pay usually full price for these or sometimes sale, but we pass the savings on to charity or something.
We do. We
I
pass
don't
them
know.
on to charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our favorite stripper at the club. No, I'm kidding. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Cinnamon and charity down
no,
at
you know what it was? What, Center for Missing Children? Is that
The
what we do?
National
National
Center
Center for
for-
Missing and Exploited Children.
Yeah, that's it.
That's our charity of choice.
And it's 100%.
Yep.
Straight, like the money goes straight to them.
You send us money, we send it over to them.
Yep.
We don't even...
It just goes into like
Yeah.
a bubble. We don't even touch it.
Yep.
It just
Directly.
hangs out in that bubble for a while. And
So that's where your money's going if you're buying stuff
Uh-huh.
off of our eBay page. And I just wanted to throw a plug because I don't know if anybody or if
I
don't
think
know
some
how many
people might not
know.
listen to the second half or,
Yeah.
just charity.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to say.
yeah, and it's the holiday
It's the
season.
holidays. Be charitable, motherfuckers.
Yeah, indeed. Well, now let's take a break, shall we?
Yeah.
Be charitable, motherfuckers.
This week on the BMFcast, charitable.
Motherfucker. Motherfucker.
How many movies you got for the second half?
Hoo boy.
Uh-oh.
Hoo boy.
How many is a who boy?
Hoo boy.
I don't know.
Well, we haven't podcasted for 2 weeks.
We haven't?
No,
Oh, that's right. We did
no
it.
quarters last
Yeah,
week.
that's right. Shit.
So I have several, but they're going to go rapid fire.
Okay.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3,
3 bites.
4, 5.
I have Trace.
So 5 movies, but only 2 will get more than like a sentence.
Okay. I have 3 that will get varying degrees of sentences.
All right. BJ, how many movies you got?
I have one, and I don't really need to talk about it too much.
Okay.
Well, then let's light this candle.
Let's do it, and
Well-
then we can go home.
PSA.
Oh.
If you are out there in holiday cooking land and you're boiling a bunch of stuff on your stove this year, if you somehow get your house too steamy with boiling things on your stove, you can set your smoke detector off.
That is true.
That happened to me last night, and my ears are still ringing. Oh. Yeah. So just remember that. Like, crack a window or something.
Or if you listen to the BMFcast and things get too steamy, nothing will happen.
Crack a window.
That's right.
Nothing will happen.
Hit play and crack a window. Rip the knob off.
Don't rip your knob off. Just rip.
No,
the
go
knob
ahead and
off.
rip your knob
Be
off.
gentle with your knob. It's its first time today.
Yeah, we should have given a shout out to that DJ in the opening scene. That was Stanley Jackson or whatever the fuck that guy's name was. It was a Christmas freak out. Let's listen to it. All right. So good. You guys like Christmas? Christmas funk, yeah.
Yeah, he's Christmas in your ear holes.
All right.
Get crunk with Christmas funk. Crunk.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Sorry, that wasn't much of a noise.
That was
Let me try it again.
lousy.
And hey, oh,
What's happening?
hey, there we go.
Okay. There it is.
Had to try that again.
Nice work.
Thanks.
Good job, everybody. Good team.
All right.
What?
Nothing.
It's all right.
I make noises when the chirons pop up.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun for him. He likes it.
Shh. All right, let's try this again. All right, welcome back.
Hey,
Hey.
BMFcast. Second half.
Woo! Christmas.
Oh man, is it? We have some movies and shit to
Boy,
talk about.
do we have the movies.
And shit.
Yeah.
So I have 3 movies to talk about. You have
5
Cinco?
movies.
I only have one.
All right.
But hey, that's like better than my average.
Yeah.
So
Pretty good.
nailed it.
I can blow through 2 movies in about 2 sentences.
Oh, I know you
I should
can.
probably do one because it's theatrical.
Okay.
Like I'm just, we usually start the newest.
Yep.
And then, so I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, Into the Spider-Verse. That is getting really good reviews from literally everyone.
I saw some of that.
Oh, would you stick around at the end of Venom?
The 20-minute credit sequence of Venom had about 5 minutes of that movie in it.
Yeah. I knew that going in, so I left.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna watch the movie,
Yeah.
so don't want to watch any part of it now.
Exactly.
Okay. I know usually when I start with that, you're like, oh, you didn't like the movie. But I have small nitpicks with it. Only small nitpicks. Otherwise, I think it's a fantastic movie.
Okay, great.
I don't want to be spoilery at all. I will say, watching the trailers for it, I only watched like the original one. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how hard they were going to lean into the comic book aesthetic for it, and was both interesting, pleasant, surprising, and kind of confusing at the start because like the credit sequence is crazy, and opening logos crazy, all of it's crazy, and then it just starts starts off with like the Columbia logo and like halftone comic book style, starts going nuts from there. There's thought bubbles, there's thwip things written on the screen when things happen. I mean, it's super comic booky throughout, and that's mostly great. Now, if I'm getting into nitpicks, I will say and I'm going to bring up a movie only because like one person wrote it. I know he had nothing to do with directing this one, but one of the writers, actually, I think maybe both of the writers of the Lego Movie had some work on this. One of them, I think, got their writing credit removed somehow. So only one remained or something like that. It's weird.
All right.
So I love the Lego Movie. However, the Lego Movie is fast, busy, frenetic, and crazy, almost to the point of like just being just a notch back from like pure ADD.
Yes.
Like, in how insane it is and how fast it goes.
Yeah.
This is along those same lines. So if you have any ADD tendencies or you're a kid that's has a short attention span, this is probably going to be great for you. But for me, it was a little overwhelming. Like, I feel like it's almost even like ramped up more than Scott Pilgrim. Like,
oh, wow.
I'm just saying, like, this is a frenetic, crazy movie.
Okay.
The music is bombastic. I mean, like, the imagery is bombastic. Like, everything about it is just nuts. In mostly a good way. I mean, I'm not knocking. I'm just saying, like, it was a lot when I was not prepared for that. Just kind of like I'm kind of in like that same, like, if you remember when I saw Scott Pilgrim before everybody else, I was kind of like, wow, I don't know what I think, and I feel like a lot of people are going to hate this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, I don't want to talk too praise heavy on it because like you could just turn on this movie immediately if it's not your bag. But I liked it overall. My nitpicks are like I mostly really like the multiverse Spider-Man stuff that goes on there. And I know a lot of people were excited about this, but god damn it, they should not have done Peter Porker. Like, it's wrong. Like, it's aesthetically wrong. Like, it does like that was not. I mean, if you have nostalgia for it, you're wrong because like that was a bad era of Marvel comics. Like, that wasn't even like it was dumb. Like it's lower than Mad Magazine humor stuff injected into Marvel things. Like it was bad. It's funny like in a like, oh look, there's Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy, and people are like, we want a Howard the Duck movie. And I was like, no, you don't, motherfuckers. Like, you had it. You don't want it. Trust me.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like, more. It's like a little bit more in the cameo of Howard the Duck. It's like, yeah, this just shouldn't be here. Like, it's totally wrong.
Okay.
And I didn't hate it, but I was like, no, it's just not right. It's just that doesn't belong, and we shouldn't acknowledge that was actually really a thing in a lot of ways. So I would strike him from the whole thing because there's other Spider-Men that they could choose from that would be more entertaining. The other thing, and this is really, really, really dumb, but some of the character designs, character design stuff is really cool. Kingpin bothers the shit out of me in this movie because it seems it's acceptable for me for like the Spider-Man to come from the other dimensions and look different. Like Spider-Man Noir is actually in black and white the
Right.
whole time, and that's cool as shit, and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And honestly, Nick Cage is awesome in this and does one of my favorite things that somebody could do in a movie in this movie for reals, and I nearly fell out of my seat. I was so excited.
Okay.
And I don't want to be spoilery. I'm just saying you'll know it when you see it. But the Kingpin design is like, I know he's a big dude. Like he's silly looking in the Marvel comics because of how large and blocky he is. But they went to like some other like ramped up level where this is a mostly realistic looking world of people that they've painted, and it's this alternate New York, and everything's like the PDNY instead of the NYPD and all this stuff. But he is like a thing that can't exist. Like he is like the size of a building, and his head is like where his chest should be, and like like his shoulders like a foot taller than him, and it's just dumb. It's like I get it with the character designs of these people, and and if someone's a super villain mutation thing, that's okay too. Like because Green Goblin's like a crazy thing, but it's like, all right, well, that's a super villain. This is just a dude walking around, and people are like, yeah, that's a guy. Like no one's like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck is that thing? Like so it's just like it's very weird. Like like nobody reacts to like, what the fuck is that block with a head in the middle of it? So.
Like
I
no
don't
one reacting to the mobsters and Dick Tracy
Yes,
with
yeah.
horror and
right,
disgust.
exactly. Like where there's all these normal people, and then like like what the fuck is that thing? Like it's almost on that level where it's just like, okay, I get that he's a big blocky dude, but like this is a bit much.
Yeah.
But that's all that aside, it's great. Like
Okay.
it really is a great movie, and the mid and post credit stuff, the post credit thing is amazing.
Okay.
I say that like it's amazing right now. It's one of the things like I don't know how amazing it's going to be in the long term.
Right.
It's like because that's like one of the reasons. Like again, I feel like I'm going to be sound like I'm shitting on the Lego Movie, but like so much of what's in the Lego Movie and why I'm so happy that they didn't end up doing all of Solo is like they seem like meme writers. Like it's like that's really funny now. How funny is that going to be in 10 years? And I feel like every script should go through a pass where someone goes, how funny is that going to be in 10 years? Is anybody going to understand what the fuck that means?
Right.
Like Mel Brooks movies should have had that at points. Like it's like very funny now. How much of this is going to be funny in 10, 20, 30 years? Because like you should be making movies for forever. And
You should.
And that's, I feel like,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. The movies can be of their time. They might not. The jokes might not always hit, but like
sure. I mean,
you
but
can let movies be of their time.
let
and
me
they can
just
still be
say
good.
the post credit thing is very memey. I mean, it is directly a meme. Like
Oh.
like literally, it will not be funny probably in 5 years.
Okay.
Like if it's going to have a very short shelf life, but it's funny as shit right now.
Okay.
So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. It's great though. Like I'm more warning you because I didn't have that warning of like, if you're headache prone from loud and flashy noises, take something beforehand because this movie is fucking in your face. So
Okay. Cool. Let me rapid fire some movies real quick.
Okay.
Here. I'm still proceeding to watch every 2018 movie I can get my hands on. Here are some quick opinions of 3 of them. I watched Tag.
okay,
Tag is a movie that is funny, except whenever the plot is happening. It's weird that all the tangential dialogue in that movie is really funny, and the interactions of the characters are really funny, but the plot of that movie can eat a dick.
well,
Like-
especially one thing in particular, like the fact that
Yes.
there's one thing that
Yes.
like I was in a non-spoiler way. BJ and I was talking about this because I know what movie he's going to talk about, and I confused the two for half a moment.
Okay.
And I was like, the fact that someone was like, in 2018, this seems like an acceptable plot device, and nobody went, yeah,
Yeah.
Is it the game of tag?
no,
Yeah.
Nobody understands the game of tag in the year of our Lord 2018.
Yeah.
no, it's a
At
little
least
worse than that.
yeah.
No, this is something that's just horrific.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
can't wait to not watch this movie.
Tag.
I just cannot seem to find.
There are so many great jokes in Tag, though. It's just whenever the Tag shit is happening, it's just like you people are all breaking the law and should go to jail.
Other than him also ultimately being terrible, it's also, I hate to say it, but it's also like the coolest they will probably ever make Jeremy Renner look.
Yes.
Like, because I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there's hope in Avengers 4, because like if he's fucking Ronin, that could be
Yeah.
cool as shit. But that's it for another day.
Yeah.
I'm saying like it's hard to make Jeremy Renner look as cool as they make him look in this movie.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel it's the weirdest thing enjoying a movie that you actively hate. I've never quite understood it. Like when it was over, I was angry, but then I realized I laughed a bunch. So it's just like it's like the jokes work, but the plot fucking sucks. Yeah. So that's tech. Along those lines, maybe this is a movie BJ's going to talk about. I watched Game Night.
Hey.
Okay. Game Night for me worked a whole bunch, and I liked it because it really it takes its story seriously. Like the thing that is happening to these people doesn't feel like kind of like
Doesn't feel like a jokey joke.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not like it's just bad guys kind of doing takes at each other and it's just like check out these idiots. It's like movies like Central Intelligence and stuff like that. It's like they have these big action plots, but you can't take them seriously because it's a jokey comedy. This has like a level of seriousness to it that the characters aren't taking seriously for a very specific reason, but the movie is taking it seriously, and that works.
Yep, that's fair. That's a pretty fair assessment. My only real complaint with Game Night is it's just more Jason Bateman being Jason Bateman, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't take away from anything in the movie. It's just
He smiles in this, which is weird. Like, he seems to almost be experiencing joy a couple times, and that's unlike Jason Bateman.
true. But it's still at its heart, it's just
Yes.
more Jason Bateman. And like I said, that's not a bad thing. It's just I would like to see more out of him because I think he's got good comedic timing. I think he's funny. But we've gotten one note from him in the last 10 years, like aside from Dodgeball.
Yeah, we made a reference to that. And I was like, man, we need more Dodgeball version of Jason Bateman. Like
Yeah.
that's
Like crazy spiky hair.
Yeah, not
Early
giving
2000s.
a shit, just effing A.
just kind of like checked out, stoner
Yeah.
dude, Jason Bateman. I want that more.
Yeah. But Game Night is fine. Like I like creepy neighbor dude a whole lot. I think he's a really funny he's really funny just playing the straight man and his character is really funny. It's
Wasn't
very
that one of the
amusing.
ones I was saying that like it has action that's shot unnecessarily well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's like Office Christmas Party. I remember like that whole movie is like shot way better than it should be.
Yes.
Like I don't understand this new thing of like let's bring in a fucking expert cinematographer to shoot our comedy.
Yeah.
Like
It-
our rock, raunchy comedy.
It was like James Wan had made
Yeah.
this movie. It was that level of we are taking this action stuff super seriously. And there was a lot of stuff where like when they would do car chases, they have the camera is somehow timed to the car that's being chased.
I am so glad that you mentioned that because I'd completely forgotten about it.
Yeah. It's a really cool look.
It's a really good effect. I have no idea how they did
Yeah.
it because you can see the whole car.
Yes. It's like they've got some sort of like gyroscopic crane on the lead car.
It's honestly probably some fancy ass drone.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah.
Just programmed to stay on top of but follow the movement of the chase car.
Yeah. It's really good.
The other just
Or
technical
they
thing
shot
this
it wide and then cropped
Yeah.
it really nice. I don't know.
the other thing the tech thing this movie does really well is there are so many establishing shots that look like miniatures, and the camera just keeps
They
going.
do a lot of like tilt shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And as the camera goes in, you're like, oh wait, no, that's a real like shopping center. But like every establishing shot starts with just this.
You don't want establishing
No,
charts.
that's
No.
bad. You
Yeah.
end with that. But it just looks like a board game, and they just keep zooming in. You're like, oh wait,
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
real
yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah.
It's like those were really cool. So I mean, this movie did
Those
a
are
lot of
Probably drone shots as
Yeah.
well. We're getting into that point where that technology is so cheap and so good that you can crank out some really interesting stuff
Or
with it.
CG's just catching up that you can fake it until you blend it into a real shot.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I just from a technical standpoint, I thought
Yeah.
that movie had chops.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that stuff because I had forgotten about
Yeah.
it, and that kind of elevates.
Yeah, the car chase stuff was
Game
really.
night, yeah,
I was
it was.
watching. I was just like, this is something different. Like they're
And
really
also,
doing.
I think you
something.
meant Justin Lin, not James Wan. James Wan, I think we determined, is not that great of an action director.
Yeah.
We'll give him a chance with Aquaman, but
Okay.
his Fast and the Furious was annoyingly
Yeah.
directed.
That yes, but I just meant like that camera, like follow the
Yeah.
the motion of the action scene.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of want to
movie,
rewatch that. Like, well, not the whole movie. Just rewatch that
Yeah.
action, that driving scene again, just to think about how they did it because it's technologically neat.
Yeah, because when they first did it, I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And they kept doing it. I was like, this is fascinating. Like, this would be I would watch the featurette on how you made this movie.
Right. And I would expect that, like, in a Fast and Furious movie, I would expect that to be the thing, like, holy shit, they've just
Yeah.
ascended to a new level of car chase.
Yeah, because I can't say I've
with
ever seen
this.
it before.
No, I don't think so.
So,
Not done that well.
no.
I've seen where they do kind of follow shots, but not like that.
Not just perfectly synced like
Yeah.
that. So,
Are you still rapid firing, or can I?
I got one more
Oh,
rapid
okay.
fire.
Okay.
You've talked about this movie extensively when it came out, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. That movie is a goddamn spectacle.
Yeah.
And you need to see it on the biggest screen you can get your hands on.
Yep.
I regret not going to the theater to see that because it is amazing looking.
Yeah. That movie's fucking amazing. It's so good.
Every Mission Impossible that comes out, I'm like, this is the one that's gonna fucking suck. This will be the end of it. Like basically every Tom Cruise movie that comes out, I'm like, this is the one where he just fucking eats it and that's it for Tom Cruise. And each one comes out and I'm just like, that's really fucking good.
Actually, The Mummy was all right.
The Mummy is better than people give it credit for.
It is. It's not like, oh my god, The Mummy.
No, and the first half of The Mummy is fucking amazing. It's when Russell Crowe shows up that movie just eats its hat. But yeah, and it's weird because the Mission Impossible movies at this point for me have turned into I'm studying Tom Cruise doing a stunt, trying to figure out how they're doing it because he's clearly not doing that. He can't be doing that. And I love that they kept the shot in of him like just breaking his leg. Because
Probably at his insistence.
yeah, because like my wife and I was like, here it comes. He's gonna fucking eat it right here. Here he goes. And then like they keep the shot of him limping off, and you're like, holy shit! They kept in the shot where he murdered himself. And oh my god, there are so many shots of Tom Cruise running, running across buildings.
Yep.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Ah.
that movie's so.
They're ridiculously good, and they keep getting me with the mask stuff. Like I'm never expecting it, and they pull some
Gene
goddamn
Parmesan!
yeah. They yes, they pull some goddamn triple cross bullshit, and I'm like, when did that happen? What the fuck? Every time.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. So anyway, those are my rapid fires.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know where to pivot off that.
Speaking of movies,
What are you doing?
what are you doing?
I was just noticing that I had peaked a little bit in that Gene Parmesan, and I was wondering what I could do to prevent it the next time. That's all.
It's the best reaction to anything ever.
Yeah, I have zero segue, so I'll just go. And I have two other movies.
Okay.
I'm actually normally I talk about like bigger and then move small. I'm gonna leave one for the end because I'm still working my thoughts on that one.
All right.
Just in general. Next one I'm talking about is Peppermint, 2018 movie, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Yet another movie that was sold to me as female John Wick, and god damn it, people stop doing that. Not every action movie where people shoot people is goddamn John Wick. So stop misselling me on movies.
Didn't somebody just recently say that that's like within the last 2 or 3 days?
I
Say,
think it was him.
Oh, that's the female John
Well,
Wick.
I think I was repeating what someone said. Is that
Before he
I
watched it.
I said I was told this was the closer to female John Wick than the
Red
promised. Well, no, Atomic Blonde.
Blonde.
Atomic Blonde was promised. I'm like, yeah, okay, it has the one brutal ass scene, but that's a slow Cold War spy thriller through 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
Much more to the point, this is we could either say punish her or Death Wish. I don't have a female joke I can make with Death Wish.
Death
It's actually much
no.
closer closer to Death Wish. Really.
Miss Death Wish.
Sure.
Death miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean because it's not John Wick. John Wick is he's trained. Like there's a reason why he's amazing and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is like shitty thing happens, and then she's like, "Fuck all that," and I'm gonna get some guns and murder things.
Okay.
And I kind of like so. I didn't love the movie, but it's worth watching. This is my quick review of it. I kind of like that they mostly are just like, she disappeared for 5 years. Fucking figure out why she became a badass in your head. Like there are hints of like what she was doing in this time, but like she literally went on a fucking like Batman spirit quest of like, I'm going to come back ready to murder.
And she does.
And she does.
Okay.
So, all right. As much as I like something else that the director made, which is that District, technically it's just District 13, but it was District B13 in America.
Right.
It's the same director as that. As much as I like that movie at the time, because it was like, holy shit, a parkour movie that's actually not just like stupid completely. It's like, it's interesting. Because something like that where it's like, fad, let's make a movie, could have been horrible. I actually really like that movie.
Yeah.
A lot of what worked for that movie, he's still got that bag of tricks, and it's not good. Like, it's got a very, like, the soundtrack and some of the editing is like, oh, is this a fucking, like, 2000s direct-to-video action movie? Oh. We're just shaking and, grizzled, like, Tony Scott dissolves between things and the kind of music.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, some of the trappings of the movie are very annoying, but what's going on in the movie is pretty goddamn good. There's only one thing I remember where it was like, holy shit, fuck yeah, kind of like action brutality kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, a lot of people get shot and things like that, and some in clever ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there was only one thing where I kind of went like did like that John Wick, Death Wish guy off the stairs thing where it's like, oh, kind of thing. Where it's like,
yes.
Why that guy and why that? Holy fuck, like but like no, this movie's still worth watching. Like
Okay.
it's just like I'm just warning you, kind of like the Spider-Man. I'm warning you, like this is going to start up and you're going to be like, what? Because like that, kind of. Look, that fucking music, and that's exactly how it is.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. So it's just, it's worth watching, but it's like, it's just be forewarned that like it's some of that like knockoff Tony Scott editing bullshit and the music throughout, but the core of the movie is still fun.
Okay.
Again, you could make an argument for this is white people gun masturbatory thing, especially because like it's a Latino gang that like does the shit, but they're fucking evil as all hell.
Okay. But
you can make all kinds of like, oh yeah, propaganda MS-13, like you can do all this stuff. It's like, like there's lots of things you could make an argument, but you know what? I'm pretty sure it's a French dude that made the District B13 movie and all this stuff, so like I don't think he was thinking any of that. It's Jennifer Garner murdering some fools who deserve it.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
Yeah. Transition of none. I will go. The last one is I watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes. Okay.
A thing that I was very, very much wanting to see at the theater, and I never got a chance.
Okay.
First off, it's one of those movies like I don't know why it wasn't on my radar prior to like a week or two before it came out. Seeing a trailer and being like, holy shit, that's Drew Goddard, Cabin in the Woods. Fuck, what the hell? Why didn't I know about this?
Yep.
So to say expectations were high is an understatement because I fucking love Cabin in the Woods to death. This is not that. It's not that style of meta or crazy or anything like that. It is just, like I said, I'm still trying to put it together. It's almost like a Tarantino-esque, like, why is this person here? What is their motivation? Kind of like unraveling of the mystery box kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of transcends into this whole other weird level that could make or break it when Chris Hemsworth shows up. And that's really all I'm going to say because I think like the less you know about this movie is probably the better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying like it is this like how do these pieces fit together and what's the real story? And then like he shows up and it's just like, oh fuck, like this. Wow, everything just went nutty, kind of level to it. It's good. I think the performances are amazing pretty much throughout. So, if nothing else, it's worth watching from a actor-character kind of standpoint.
And Jeff Bridges does not do the mealy-mouthed cowboy voice, right?
Not really. He he has a level of old man Jeff Bridges just kind of sounds that way, but you're not intentionally doing that much. It's just,
All right.
Also, like I don't know if it's just something I noticed or if it was intentional or if any of this was manipulated, and I don't know if it means something, but like there was, actually, shit, I probably just figured it out and I don't want to spoil it. Almost every character in this movie has bright blue eyes.
Okay.
And I don't know how many I know, like, I'm pretty sure Jeff Bridges actually does. I'm pretty sure Chris Hemsworth actually does. Like, I don't know how many people actually did versus, like, they were fucking with iris colors and things like that. I mean, so, yeah. It's not spoiler. I'm just going to say it. Like, because it means fucking, it's like, it's IMDb trivia bullshit.
You always do this.
It's IMDb trivia
I don't want to
bullshit.
spoil it. I'm going to tell you anyway.
Well, I was thinking about it. Like, the inspiration for this hotel, because it's not a real thing, is based on, I believe it is in like Reno or Tahoe area, this weird hotel that Frank Sinatra once owned. So,
Okay.
I mean, again, that could be the lamest fucking leap of logic IMDb bullshit that like everyone has blue eyes because Frank Sinatra.
Right.
But I'm saying like maybe that was like the little thing, like the little like Easter egg or something. I don't know.
Okay.
The weakest link, and I haven't seen her in anything to like really judge her as an actress, but Dakota Johnson is like, I don't know what to make of her. Like I can't figure her out. Like and this movie doesn't help anything because like I haven't seen anything except the fucking shitty first 50 Shades of Grey. Like I can't think of anything else I've seen her in to like compare her as an actress. Like I literally don't know. I mean, she's nice to look at, obviously, but it's like she's doing a weird thing here, and I honestly don't know if it's like you're a bad actress or if you're just like doing aloof. You know, I can't tell, and
Right.
she's the one weakest link, if you will, in this for like as far as the cast and like this being a cool ensemble piece movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's grosser than I thought it would be in some ways. It's like because there's a super seedy level to this whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's still a pretty fascinating movie, and it's gorgeously shot, and there's some like really almost Wes Anderson style like framing and whatnot of certain shots that's interesting, and it's a period piece type thing too, which I didn't know about. So it's just interesting, and yeah, there's a crazy level of supporting cast where it's like, oh, I didn't even know you were in this movie.
Yeah.
Like Nick Offerman's in it in like a tiny role. It's like there's just people I was like, oh, I had no idea you weren't even like in the, you know, your part is so small, like you weren't even listed in like the you know credits, like all these people.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching. I just watched last night. I haven't really fully formed an opinion.
Okay.
But it didn't have that like, oh my god, I have to tell everyone about this like Cabin in the Woods thing. So, which is fine because I mean that's honestly like, I don't know if he's made other movies like directing wise. I don't know if this is like a second movie, but I feel like that's a lot of directors. Like if Cabin in the Woods was his first directing movie, which I don't know because I think he wrote things before that.
Yeah.
I think Cabin in the Woods might have been the first movie he directed. I could look it up, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking like Duncan Jones, things like this, where you're like, holy shit, first movie, and then it's like, well, source code's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not Moon. You know, it's
is
like,
not.
yeah, it's just like, you know, this seems like a common thing of like, holy shit, first movie, what is this person? They're on my radar, and then it's like, second movie's like, good, but you know, not that.
Good, but understandable.
Good, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
you got more?
I have a couple more.
Okay.
So, in preparation for a movie, I went back and watched the first Deadpool.
Okay.
Rewatched it, just to get caught up. I had some worries going into Deadpool rewatching it, which I liked the first time, but I realized that the Ryan Reynolds shtick can, if you are not ready for it or on board with it, it could conceivably rub you the wrong way. It could be like, just shut the fuck up. Just please shut the fuck up. So I was picking up a little bit of that in my reaction watching it for a second time, just being like, uh-oh, I may not like this as much as I did the first time. But that movie still has heart, and it kicks in with that. With their year-long romance montage is still, I think, the best establishing thing a superhero movie has done in terms of just like putting two characters together and saying, okay, this is why they are together, and this is who they are.
Right. Why it means something when what is taken or
Yes,
put in danger or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah. So then I realized that part of my kind of backlash against Deadpool is just the whole TJ Miller thing. Just him and Ryan Reynolds going back and forth doing alternate takes, line reads, just improvising is just like, okay, both of you shut up. And it's because I hate one of them now. So that kind of
Sure.
just worked against Ryan Reynolds, even though at the time he had no reason to know that, T.J. Miller was a giant piece of shit. So, but whatever. Deadpool, in the end, is still really great and does a lot of really cool things. And for a really profane R-rated superhero movie, its heart's in the right place. Really is.
What's a love story?
Yeah. So that was in prep to watch Deadpool 2, which I watched. Which
is a family movie.
Yeah, the super duper
Deadpool.
cut. The longer
Yeah,
cut.
I recommended that because I saw it in the theater, and then when it came to video, I didn't realize it, but the 4K version I bought was like at the time, all the versions. Now there's 3 versions.
Yeah,
of the
now
movie.
there's another one.
But I watched that, and before you saw 2, I was like, just watch the longer version because it's a better. It's the pacing of that movie flows so much better. It's not just more like dick jokes. It's like there are large plot points that are more delicately handled.
Yeah, and we were talking about some of those at dinner. Deadpool 2 seems like an entirely different movie than the first Deadpool, but also very, very similar. And I like it just as much, but for totally different reasons. I think with the...
You can definitely see like a director-writer shift.
Sure. But just the weird-ass kind of ensemble thing that movie becomes is just so strange to me and almost endearing. The way the movie is weaving in and out of the actual Marvel universe without ever really firmly planting a foot in it. It's just like all this cursory bullshit, and then just having like bits of things to be like, oh hey, and then that's obviously just a dumb throwaway gag. Those kinds of things. My only real problem with Deadpool 2, aside from what they do to a main character, which the credits are very nice to help you work through your anger when they do that to a certain character. But I just don't feel like Cable as a villain or whatever he's going to be is given enough.
Yeah.
He just kind of shows up, and then like all of his backstory is through dialogue, mostly to Deadpool, which Deadpool mostly dismisses or makes fun of.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not establishing this guy very well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like just as someone who knows him more from the comic stuff,
Right.
like the reason he works and why it's weird in Deadpool 2 is he's the straight man to Deadpool's wackiness and grimly straight,
Yeah.
like, and then they kind of do that, but then they also kind of give him jokes, and it's like, no,
Right, yes.
like like you can't also be jokey,
Yeah.
So, and the fact that like they're adversarial throughout most of the movie throws off like when they. Well, whatever. They're going to become friends because that's what happens. Like, they made whole comics about it. But
Yes.
yeah, when that happens, it's like, okay, this is the vibe I wanted the whole time, like
Right.
not this adversarial bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie takes a lot of chances and does them all pretty much right. It's just both those movies are fun. They're just pure fun, really. And then a movie that's not a lot of fun. It's a weird kind of train wrecky. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but they made it anyway. Venom. Now, obviously, I don't have any experience with the character of Venom aside from Spider-Man 3, which I still maintain is a decent film. But I...
That pointed lip smack of yours.
It's just it's the time of the year where we must remind everyone that Chuck's opinions are not only only his, but also wrong.
No. Look,
They're also, according to Harlow, invalid and trash.
I listened to you guys talk about Venom and like the history of Venom and what Venom is supposed to be, and I understand this movie is not that. That this movie is trying to do its own thing. So I went into it with this frame of mind of, okay, establish a thing. Let just build your Venom universe and let me see what you've got. And immediately I was like, oh, this is Upgrade. Upgrade's a hell of a lot better than this. Upgrade's kind of the same movie, except good. Venom is just... And this is what broke my heart watching it, is that I'm watching this movie and I'm like, I don't know if I like Tom Hardy. Like, he's a good actor. Like, there are things where obviously he is a phenomenal actor, but he is 100% wrong for this. Like, he is trying to do some homeless, maniacal, jokey man, and it's like, I don't believe you were ever a reporter. I don't believe you were ever on television as a reporter. You can't seem to put a sentence together. You kind of... you just shuffle around all the time in your sweatshirt jacket, and you look like you have just crawled out of an oil drum at all times. He's just a weirdo freak character that it's just like, I can't get behind you. And like when your life starts turning upside down, it's like, yeah, so no one should come to your aid. Like, fuck you. I don't know. It's so strange. Like the mainline Marvel movies for me are all like varying degrees of good, and any of the ones out on the outer orbit, the cursory Marvel movies are just like, wow, you fucked that up royally. Like Fantastic Four and this, and it's just like,
well, the non-proper MCU things, basically.
yeah. I mean,
Homecoming being the exception because they were helping steer that ship.
Yes. But like the two Amazing Spider-Mans, I could not get into those at all. It's
there's so much about 2 I want to love, and then there's so much that's like 2 is like I don't know. It's there's so much about 2 I want to love, and then it's like the whole weird Jamie Foxx thing is just like so fucking stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's shit about 2 that's terrible, and also like stuff that's great. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, there are parts of this that I was like, okay, I could get on board with this, but then like the movie just ends, and it's just like, okay, this is what we're doing, and literally 20 minutes of credits in that movie. Like from the time the first credit pops on screen till the movie is over is 20 minutes.
Yep.
Now, one of those is a post credits or a mid credits scene, which I had to look up to figure out what the fuck this meant, as I do with most Marvel mid-scene things. And then they straight up slap 5 minutes of the Into the Spider-Verse.
So, but at least you maybe got a taste of what that movie's like.
Yeah,
if you watched it.
I watched like a minute and a half of it, and I was like, oh, wait, they're just showing a clip from this movie. No, I will watch this movie. So, but yeah, those credits go on forever. It's weird. It's just weird.
I'm also going to be very curious when you do watch Into the Spider-Verse, because that is also the nerdiest fucking Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
I'm sure.
Like, I was like, honestly, I mean, again, it's going to sound like I'm shitting on it, but I was kind of curious, like, how the average person is even comprehending what the fuck is happening throughout most of this. Like,
Yeah.
unless maybe it's just loud, bright, colorful, and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, I'll go with it. I'll fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Like you probably do with most Marvel movies. But,
Yes.
But, I mean, I was like, wow, like that's a reference. That's weird. Like that, I can't believe you're referencing that and doing this. And
but like whichever Marvel movie ended, the post credit scene was Thanos showing up. I was just like,
right.
who's he? Who's that guy? Why does he look like a raisin?
is he the leader of the California Raisins? Did you hear it through the grapevine? What's going on?
Yeah, I just feel like the post credit scene at the end of Justice League. I was just like, okay, Lex Luthor's on a boat, and this dude shows up, and he's like, let's form our own thing. And it's like, all right, what thing? Who are you? What are you talking about?
Oh, right. Well, yeah, so I knew that one, because that's kind of a big character. I know, it doesn't mean fuck all to you, but I mean.
Yeah. So anyway.
Also, that is one of the most confusing things for my brain to wrap, but whatever. I don't want to. Do we give a fuck about spoiling Justice League at this point?
No.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Well, just Deathstroke shows up.
Yeah.
Right. So, and yeah, and it's Joe Manganiello.
From Rampage.
Manganiello.
Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione shows up.
Feels so
But,
good.
No,
Chuck Mandarin oranges.
I just want to say, because like in the Arrowverse on TV, the dude that plays Deathstroke on there is like discount Joe Manganiello.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
Manganiello.
It's really not that complex.
Manganese.
I looked this up. I think it's Manganiello.
More
We did this during the Rampage podcast.
Yeah, I know. But
just having
I'm just
fun.
saying that dude is like so discount him that it was like, I was like, really? You just cast the same guy, only the actual guy this time?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're a movie. You don't have to cast the discount guy.
I know.
Get
It's
the
just-
real guy.
It's like making a Scream remake and like putting Johnny Depp in it. You know, it's like, well, I'm confused now.
That would be
like,
fucking hilarious.
I'm fucking confused now because you had discount Johnny Depp in it before. Like, what?
That would be amazing.
Or let's like go and put Heather Graham in it. Like, Jesus Christ, let's just do this all over the place.
Yes, all of these things, and call it Pulp Fiction.
Anyway, like I said, that just broke my brain. I was like, don't do that. That's God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, none of that shit in that scene in Justice League is ever going to mean anything.
No, probably not. Yeah, I mean,
Just like I don't think that post-credits Venom scene is going to mean anything either.
No, probably. Well, no, actually, I think that movie made a lot of money. For some
It
reason.
did, yeah, but just I don't know.
I think they're going to go ahead with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's something there. I'm willing to give them another shot, but
Well, I mean,
if it's just going to be two of those things fighting each other again, just no, thank you.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like, you know, it's cool when Spider-Man teams up with Venom, kind of becomes a good guy because like this fucking guy,
Yeah.
but not just the two of them.
Yeah.
Not just goo monsters battling each other.
Right, exactly. Now, okay, so listen, I had a thought when I was watching Venom, and I know it's not going to be a popular thought, but I actually, like, once Venom starts to become a thing and Eddie Brock is freaking out because of it, I started having the thought that, you know what, Topher Grace could do this better.
Chuck.
Topher Grace would be more likable as this, like, I'm an affable guy, oh God, what is this weird nonsense that's happening to me thing, if it had been in Venom.
I so want you to see just one scene of Into the Spider-Verse right now. I really do. I just I want to pluck that scene out and put it in your face right now.
Oh, no.
There's a scene where they shit on Spider-Man 3, Chuck.
Fine,
Okay.
whatever. Spider-Man 3 is perfectly acceptable. Acceptable, not good. Acceptable.
It's not even that.
Acceptable.
Anyway.
Acceptable.
So we wrap up? Do we blow through all the movies we've watched?
So many movies.
I think we're through the movies.
we should probably.
Like FX, we have the movies.
I think we had some correspondence.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to correspond?
So.
Well, we need to because he ain't gonna be back for a little while.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
Should we all pick a correspondence and read it?
I want to handle
Yeah, you do.
Jody's email. For a couple of reasons.
Okay.
I want to address it.
Okay.
So I don't want to read it necessarily because I want to say that some of the things that are being asked for were already going to happen anyway.
Okay.
So I don't really want to spoil that.
Sure.
There are a couple movies on here that are being recommended, like Shoot Fighter, which we almost watched 1 week.
Okay.
We have become kind of quality snobs. Like we'll straight up watch it. No,
Well,
we
I was gonna say that's mostly one of his. Well, I watch a VHS rip any day of the week.
Okay, hang on. Let me clarify what I mean by
Okay.
that. We will absolutely watch a VHS copy of something, but it has to be a proper encoded VHS rip or something like that. If it is some sort of PAL conversion or some sort of like it's for some reason it's 25 frames per second or anything like, if it's jittery or weird or anything like that, at least two of us in the room will go, I can't, my eyes, no. So I've been trying to filter those out.
Okay.
And so for the longest time, we were waiting for a better copy of Shoot Fighter, which we now have, and that is going to happen. But I just wanted to explain, I know it seems like we've been doing a lot of Blu-rays lately, and that's really, honestly, the best way to watch movies, if not in a theater. But we're not above straight up
But
watching.
Chuck, have you heard about 4K?
When I say Blu-ray,
I've heard
I mean,
forks.
Okay.
I mean the best thing.
Right.
But
not VHS as well. You're
But I mean-
you're basically telling go fuck yourselves to those VHS collector people.
no,
I mean, in a sense, I think you are.
I mean,
I'm
I
putting
did-
words in your mouth, Chuck.
I said that when I talked about that last
Yeah, I know.
documentary. But I'm just saying we are not above watching a straight up VHS transfer.
Sure.
It just has to have been a properly done VHS transfer. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
Right.
Like there are people who get mad like this is just VHS transfer uploaded to Amazon. I'm like, as long as it plays and it's in sync, I'm fine with that.
Right.
So we are not above it. But some of those things are going to happen, Jody.
Okay.
So stay tuned. There are some things we can't do because of timing, but
All right.
so
Did we end up actually having a voicemail? I know.
I think we need to evaluate the voicemails
Okay.
real quick because we've gotten a couple. and we've gotten a couple that
we can just talk about the point of the voicemail.
Okay, well, because like there was one, and there was like, wait, don't use that.
Yeah, it was
I
like
was drunk.
drunk, and then it was like, sorry about that, and then there was like, okay, here's the straight version of that email. The email is basically recommending the movie Judgment Night.
Right.
The Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary, Jeremy Piven action thing. That has been on the list for a long time. It's too long
Yeah.
for BMFcast Prime. It'll show up on BMFcast Extra at some point.
Okay.
Or if there's a week where Mackey's not here and we don't already have a movie
A plan,
selected.
right.
Yeah. So that it's one of those movies that's it's a backup Prime movie or BMFcast Extra.
Gotcha.
So I adore that movie.
Okay. I remember the soundtrack because I got it from Columbia House. Wow.
It's got a dope soundtrack.
So do we want to start with Christian's email?
Sure.
I guess. Okay.
Are you going to take care of that?
I have it in
Okay.
front of my perfect and lovely face.
Okay.
It's this one. That's on my head.
yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
my perfect and lovely face.
Huh.
Okay, this email is from Christian, who says, "Hi, I would like to give a recommendation, but not for BMFcast. This is more of a must-watch TV recommendation. You guys should watch Terrace House. This is a Japanese reality TV show on Netflix about 3 girls and 3 boys living together in a house. There is no script, no competition, and no talking heads talking to the camera. They just live there, and we observe. A couple of times each episode, we get commentary by 6 comedians, models, and TV personalities watching the show. This is the anti-Big Brother and Jersey Shore. This is a very down-to-earth, calming show. It makes you believe there's still good in this world. The house is always amazing, and the food looks delicious. This is by far my favorite TV show nowadays. The last 3 seasons are available on Netflix. I recommend you start with Terrace House, Opening New Doors. This is my favorite, and also where I started. If you need a calm show that makes the mundane entertaining, Lord knows I do with all the shit going on in the world right now, this is it. Hope you check it out if you haven't already. Greetings from Christian."
Was that in the email, or was that a parenthetical about the shit going on in the world?
Yeah, were you adding the shit?
No,
or-
I was reading straight.
Okay,
That is
okay,
exactly,
all right, all right.
yeah.
Didn't know if there was editorializing going on.
I was not editorializing.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I agree. I was just curious.
True. That sounds kind of like a thing that I would like to watch for about an episode and a half, and
Yeah, I would sample it.
yeah. I myself have been watching a lot of calming TV. I have watched literally all of the Great British Bake Off that is available to American audiences. I highly recommend that if you want if you want a lightly competitive cooking sort of thing, or a lightly competitive reality show without all of the typical bullshit American trappings of like bombast and overproduction, then Great British Bake Off is going to be your jam. But this sounds like it'd be
But I
Sort
love
of
those
interesting.
moments where like the music gets real loud and then it gets soft and people just stare at each other for like 30 seconds and you're waiting for something to happen. That's my favorite part of reality TV shows.
that's my favorite part of reality.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. We're staring at each other intensely.
Yeah, I guess it really only works
It,
for the live
it
stream.
only works for the live stream. Yeah.
It works for me because I'm just cutting back and forth,
Right.
looking at you.
Chuck, if you blink in between looking back and forth, it
Yeah.
makes it look like a cut.
It is, yeah.
I really wish I could do that look. The guy that looks at Puff Daddy, that meme, you know. I don't even know what the fucking show he was a judge on. Wasn't it Puff Daddy?
I don't know.
That one who's like, he's just got that smarmy, like, knowing look of like, what are you gonna do? I just know. I know it is a meme. I don't even know what
an
fucking
animated jife.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Yeah.
Jifes.
where it's just it's like going back and forth. He's got that like, I don't really care what you do. Like,
Kind of giving them that like
it's kind of a
And
little,
what?
Yeah, it's a little bit of sass.
yeah,
Yeah,
a little
Yeah.
bit of sass. Terrace House.
Terrace.
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 Terrace, not terrorist.
Terrence.
Yeah, don't watch that. House.
Terrence
Don't
and
watch
Phillip
Terrence House. Yeah. Terrace.
Yeah, talk about
Terrace.
Yeah.
Terrorist.
It's not a house; it's an empire.
War Machine.
Our
Did you have one queued up?
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I feel like reading.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So the next one that I think the next and last one is from this is going to be from Jody, and Jody says, "Dear BMFcast,
What you just did.
what?
This is the one I paraphrased.
Yes,
Don't read that one.
Why not?
Because
There's
Because
good writing in this.
Yes,
but he literally explained why we're not reading it.
yeah, because it's going to spoil a lot of things we're about to do. The point was to say, Jody, don't worry.
Yeah,
These
we-
things
we-
are okay.
We got you, fam.
Yeah. Thank you for the fart.
Yeah, we do need to acknowledge the fart.
We totally should acknowledge
Yeah,
the
we
fart.
got to talk about how the fart came into the
Okay,
room.
so I didn't know that we were actually just paraphrasing it for the specific purpose of not reading it, but people write these emails, so I wanted to read what was written.
I
know,
wanted...
but it would have to be like, and we recommend beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep,
It was
beep,
just
and-
basically, I was going to read a bunch of titles, and it was to be like, yeah, we are going to do that. It's specifically slated to happen in the next, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't
People
have to
pay
say
for
any
that
of
privilege.
that. You don't have to say any of that.
I didn't. That's why I paraphrased, and I said, look, it's coming.
Yeah, it's all happening.
Yeah.
You don't. Okay, all right. You're the worst at this. I love you, Chuck.
If we didn't have a Patreon where people paid to get this information, I would just totally
Well, you could
spill
say
all that
they're
out.
coming without, okay, one of these things that's in this email is going to be within the next 2 weeks.
A lot of them are, though. That's,
Yeah, and
think-
then I
Okay.
specifically addressed the shoot fighter thing. That's how we were talking about VHS quality.
Yes.
So, there's an email from GMAC that says Netflix website for Chuck, where GMAC says, "Hey, been listening to y'all for a while. Thanks for the hard work and great show. Good website that shows what gets added to Netflix is instantwatcher.com. It has daily updates of what gets added that day. Happy holidays, Jeff." Instant Watcher is what I used to make that initial list of all the 2018 things I was talking about. But the point that I can't get across properly about what I wish someone would do for Netflix, and I think I finally formulated the words to go with what I want, which is I understand when there's Marvel trailer hype or Disney trailer hype or something like that. If the world is not blowing up that day, social media is talking about the trailer. This trailer dropped. You got to see the trailer. Here's trailer reactions. Trailer. CNN is posting the trailer. ABC News is posting the trailer. That kind of thing. It's like you can't not be on the internet and not notice it. I wish Netflix releases had at least a fraction of that kind of hype. I wish that at least one other website would go, here's the new weird mid-budget sci-fi movie from Netflix appearing at this time, or something like that. That's what I'm saying, is that there's no awareness, is that there's none of that. You can't, being on social media, you just don't get any notification about anything about on Netflix.
I
They
think-
just shit these things out.
honestly, I feel like, I don't know if it was paid content, but one of the websites, on a weekly basis, maybe monthly basis, they would do what's new to Netflix and what's leaving Netflix. And they would, it was partially curated too. It wasn't just like, yeah, they're losing 200 movies and gaining 150 or whatever. It was just like, here's things you probably should watch when they come to there, and here's things that it didn't necessarily focus on the Netflix originals per se. If there was a good one, they would point it out, but that kind of went away. And I don't know if it was there was some partial paid thing going on there with Netflix, and they were like, not important, or if it was just it was just not getting any traffic on their website. I don't know.
I see a lot of sites doing that now, but it's bigger sites, and I think a lot of the niche sites stopped doing it.
Sure.
And so it seems like generic ass content coming from bigger sites now.
Sure, yeah.
So I think that's what that is.
Okay.
Love it or hate it, that Cloverfield movie got fucking hype because of the Super Bowl thing. It just, and there was rumors that day. It was like, hey, it sounds like they're gonna as soon as the Super Bowl's over, you can watch a Cloverfield movie. That was cool, and that was fun, and that made me happy to say, I have Netflix. As soon as the game's over, I'm gonna hit play on that because that sounds amazing. And then I don't feel like I heard about anything that came out on Netflix the rest of the year anywhere.
Yeah.
And I
think the problem is mostly, again, I think it's Netflix is raking in the money, and they don't have a vision person for the marketing per se, because I feel like, or someone's got some misguided ideas, because some of their biggest stuff, they're doing limited theatrical runs of them in America and delaying them coming to Netflix in some sort of bid to, I don't know what, because I don't know what the numbers they're doing when they're in the theater, but I feel like
Well, for awards consideration, they have to do that.
Sure. I mean, I feel like, but then like Annihilation is a perfect example. Like they dropped that like in 6 cities in the U.S. like before the end of 2017, so that it was up for Oscar contention. But then they did like hey, the rest of the world can just watch this on Netflix like right now. We're doing a full theatrical run, and everyone was like, well, we know this is coming. This is a Netflix movie. Why the
Right.
fuck would I go pay for it in the theater when it's in 3 months? It's going to be on your service for free for a thing I'm already paying for. So I don't know. I don't think really anybody went to unless they were just super excited about seeing it. And so that whole cycle of like no theater and we'll make it big, I think hurt the movie more so.
Right.
And I don't know because because then you got the whole thing of like, well, it's on Netflix in every other country. It's like there's perfect download copies, so people are just like, I have Netflix, or I'm going to VPN and watch it in the UK or Canada, or I'm just going to go download a copy because it's literally out there, just sectioning it off so that we can't see it, and you expected us to go pay $15 to see it in a theater, So I just feel like they're mishandling things like that. Like, I mean, I heard that they did some limited release runs for like Buster Scruggs and the Alfonso Cuarón movie and things like that. It's like, why do you think people are going to pay to see one of your movies in a theater when it's obviously going to be on your service very shortly thereafter? Or like that's a really dumb idea. Like, catch the hype on day one for your service.
Well, I think they've moved beyond subscriber count at this point.
Sure.
Like they were focused on that for the longest time, and now it's awards. Now they're like,
I guess, yeah.
we are crushing everything in terms of awards. Give us more awards.
For something like Roma, which is Cuarón's new thing, I have heard, or not heard, I've read on Twitter recently a lot of people saying, go see that movie in the theater if it is anywhere near you.
Sure.
See it in the theater. So I think
I think
people still like the theater experience. So
I want to
give that. People still like the theater experience when it's right, like when it's in a decent theater, or when you don't have a bunch of children doing the Fortnite dances in the aisles or whatever at your movie.
Which happened. That's not exaggeration.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It happened in a movie he saw. I don't go to these. I don't go to the theaters where the regular folks go anymore.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to a classy theater. I just go to the arty theater where people are there to see fucking movies. So I don't, unless it's a big movie. I can't
Nothing
be
about
fucking bothered.
My experience
these
made
days.
any sense because I was in the Dolby Cinema, which is like supposed to be nearly twice as expensive. It's supposed to weed out people like that. It's supposed
Money doesn't weed out stupid. Have you seen the White House?
Well, I mean, just generally speaking, like people. I'm saying
Thanks
like
for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm saying who pays $18 to go to a movie to talk and or be stupid during it? That's what I
these
mean.
fucking idiots.
There are
Plenty of
stupid people with money.
There's a whole other thing that I have a theory about why it happened, but it's not relevant to being on the air. But anyway, my point is like, yes, if you have a good, like I don't want to I don't feel like I shouldn't have to suffer lesser quality projection, sound, all that by going to an art house theater to see a big budget movie because of assholes. Like this is why Alamo Drafthouse works, because they're like, no, it's a real fucking theater. We just have a super strict policy of like, you act up, you push a button, you're fucking out of the theater. Like, I mean, like that's, we just need more adult theaters, and I don't mean like
Right. I get it.
covered in cum. I'm talking about like I'm talking about like come here because you want to watch a movie.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So but they make bank on people who will pay $18. Anybody will pay $18 for a movie for some reason, and $40 for, I almost said candy and cigarettes. I don't know what my brain is on today, but smoke 'em if you got 'em. On popcorn and soda.
Sure. Right. But I mean, like I said, I am still like actively fighting the invisible fight of going to the nice theater is my privilege and my right. Like you fuckheads with your phones and being stupid are not going to take this from me. I don't know. It's the theater chain's faults. It's everybody's faults. Like we live in a country full of fucking lazy. We just do. And like and everything's getting worse and nobody seems to care. And I'm not trying to get on some like, oh, it was better or whatever. in some ways, it was fucking better because people had common fucking courtesy and decency. That's what we need to bring back. And like, you know, this like mentality of like, I can go and do whatever I want because I'm fucking special. No, you're not fucking special. It's
You know what's ruined this country?
social media.
God, here we
No,
go.
the customer is always right.
Yeah.
Some insidious, dumb motherfucker who's only concerned with making the absolute most money possible off of their venture said the customer is always right. If we go by that principle, then we will always make the most money. So we kiss customers' asses instead of, when somebody acts up in a fucking movie theater, hauling them out by their shirt collar
Yeah.
and saying, all right, get the fuck out. You're done. You're bounced out of here.
Yeah, you're going to the special hell.
Yeah. We just let them stay.
Yeah.
And that's become the norm, is kowtowing to the worst possible customer.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's not the only thing to run this
if
country.
you have a draft house or something like that where you can go and enjoy Roma, fine, do it. My point is, like, I have a pretty decent sized TV. I if it's a movie like that that bears studying, there's a good chance I'm going to have a better experience at home. Like, I mean, I understand.
Absolutely.
I understand this. Like, it looks gorgeous on a big screen, but it would take one fucking knucklehead doing something stupid that I'd be like, well, I'm now pissed at this movie, and I'm having a less experience than I would have had at home for some. You know, like, I can't even imagine going to see Annihilation and having like even one person cough. Like, I mean, seriously, like that movie was so in its own element that like sitting there watching it by myself with zero distraction was like, to me, the only way to watch that movie. Like, that movie just like sucked you into a universe, and I would hope that Roma would do the same thing. And I'm saying I am 100% for the theater experience, but like for me, it's become like a popcorn place for me. Like, if it's a real fucking, I need to pay attention to this movie, that's a home experience. I'm sorry, I don't care how gorgeous it is, unless I can go, like I said, unless I had a draft house, then it'd be like, well, I know I can watch this, and nobody's going to do anything to ruin it.
Well, I got to say, the projection and sound continues
It's
to
got- it's
improve
gotten better,
at
yeah.
the art house, little artsy theater. Unless you're in the small one, they have a small sub theater that's
Sure.
not as good. But
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm still 100% for the theater experience. Just fucking need some manners.
got to go on. We got to figure out the day when all the little hellion children and talkers and phone players don't go to the theater. It's probably Wednesday.
I thought
honestly.
9 o'clock on a Sunday was going to be it. I was wrong.
9:00 p.m.
Yeah. I just figured on a Sunday it was like, yeah, like kids will have to go to bed because school and shit, but I can stay up till midnight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an adult. I don't know. It's just... Now, Sunday morning is like usually when I try to go. Like, honestly, a Saturday or Sunday morning, like the early show. Yeah, you're gonna go see some movies and watch Grandma walk out because it's like, why are they saying fuck a lot? But that's okay. I don't care if old people leave.
Yeah.
Honestly, that added to the entire experience of seeing Sorry to Bother You. Like, was watching at what point people walked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, enough of a rant. I'm done. Are we done?
I think so.
Minus some contact information.
That would be good.
BMFcast.com. Click on all the buttons, including that eBay button, which is where you can buy things from us. You can buy refuse from us for low prices, and we will donate all of your money to charity.
Yep.
It's for a good cause, for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and 100% of our proceeds. Actually, not even 100% of the proceeds. 100% of what you pay us for those items goes directly to charity. So we're not taking any grift on that. It's just
Not even a penny.
nary a penny.
Just straight to the charity.
In fact, it really just costs us more money to do that.
Aside
and
from
we're not-
supplies, that's all it really costs.
And whatever the difference between what we paid for the movie and all that. But that doesn't matter. We're acting as a conduit for your money to go to help children who need help.
We are facilitating.
Yes. But check out our eBay button on the website. Also check out the Patreon button on our website, which will take you to our Patreon if you want to just give us money that's just for us, then please do that. You can also go directly to patreon.com/BMFcast, and we have a lot of content there available for you for low prices monthly.
Yes.
And then, if you want to just email us directly, bmf@bmfcast.com, or if you want to give us a call on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263.
Whee!
All right.
I've been saying those numbers the same way for 9 years now, so
Yeah.
put a little sauce
Yeah,
on it.
I don't know anything about that. Just good bad movies, really bad movies.
Yeah. This week on the back.
We have our rhythms and stuff. Anyway, let's get out of here, shall we?
All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And for Mackie, this is BMFcast out. Bye, motherfuckers.
Bye, motherfucker.
Also, if you're out there and you like funny Canadian comedies and you need a new one to watch, check out Letterkenny on Hulu. It's funny as shit. I love it. If you're in Canada, you can subscribe to Crave TV and watch all 5 seasons that are available. But if you are not in Canada, you cannot subscribe to Crave TV because they require you to put a province in
What?
when
However,
you put your credit card in
if
there.
you look in their site, if you look on Crave TV's site, they actually say, hey, if you can't get our show legally, download it. We don't care. Just buy merch. They actually will say that right on there.
Yep.
That's kind of their general standpoint. They're like, just give us money somehow if you're outside the Canada. Outside the Canada.
Canada.
Outside the Canada.
The Canadias.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Canadian.
And yes, there is going to be a show next week, correct?
Yes.
We all agreed.
Yes, there will be a podcast. There will be blood.
Yeah, Mackie will not be here again, but there will be a show regardless.
Yeah, unless something happens
yeah.
that I can't make it. So
And then there will not probably be a show because we've tried that before. Well, we do it every week. It's just called extra.
We can just do a live extra.
We'll do a live extra.
Alextra.
We can watch Electra.
Oh man, I'm glad we don't have that thing here anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what did you need? Alextra? Okay.
Alextra, play a movie.
Play a poopy song.
Ordering 65 dildos.
No.
Yes. Confirm. It's going to be a very, very, very Merry Christmas.
It's wild how they just dropped dash buttons once they, I don't see the dash buttons.
What's the the little like game show button thing?
Yeah, it was just like a Tide
The-
Pod button.
Right, they're-
Tide
Oh, those things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they
from
dropped those?
Amazon.
Pretty much, I don't see them ever.
I think they sell them still.
Oh no,
but
they
don't
made
really.
them into like software buttons now. Like I have that like if things I've ordered more than once. Like I have a fake dash button that I just go boop, on my app or whatever.
I'm not surprised, but once they got a fucking NSA spy in your house, they don't need.
I think they
don't
also
need a dash button
realized how many
anymore.
people were getting them and turning them into other random weird things because like they were highly hackable. Like you could turn them into like turn on your smart lights, boop.
Really, with
Yeah.
the dash buttons?
Yeah, you
Oh,
could
that's
just-
cool.
Yeah, you could just like because it was literally just like a binary switch, and you could just be like, "What if I make it do this instead?" Or
That's pretty cool.
Play
Maybe I
this
should have
song.
ordered a
Yeah.
few.
Plus, like
They're $5 a piece.
the dots are down to like $20.
They're giving them.
Yeah, I got one
Well-
with my doorbell.
Jesus Christ. Like, they're giving these away, and we all know why they're giving them away. It's because they're listening to all our shit. But it's still, even though I know my phone is listening to me like 80% of the time, it still weirds me out to have one more thing, like giving one more company
Yeah.
like the ability to listen to all my shit all the time. And literally all my shit if I have one in the bathroom like we have at the studio. All of my shit. Anyway,
I just expect Google one day to like send help. Something's wrong with him.
he ass don't sound right. We're sending an ambulance.
Hey, Harlow, are you okay, or do you have a Murloc in there?
Murlocking detected. Sending help.
I don't shit like that.
This
This is comedy here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is this the real life?
Yeah, it could just be fantasy.
Caught in a
Landslide.
fart slide.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We can make Queen jokes when Mackie's not here.
Yeah, he doesn't get irrationally angry and scream at us.
One might say his Mercury rises.
Yeah.
It's Macquarie.
I'm Freddie Mercury. He's probably going to kill me just for saying that.
He's gonna like fly through the door like Shockbar.
No, he's going to come down out of the fucking skylight
Oh, that'd be nice.
directly onto my head.
Oh,
Pound me
man,
into
I never realized how prime for death you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm fucking dunzo.
You're like, it's literally like the shape of your body is directly above you. It's kind of amazing. Like,
I mean, I'm not skylight shaped.
just like someone could very easily and just crush you.
Yes.
Like,
It is the prime
it is
width for
directly
somebody
over
to
you.
come feet down and grind me into dust or squish me like a Goomba.
cook up a story and put you in a meat grinder.
I'm going to get Goomba'd out of that one day. Fucking Goomba'd.
Yeah. Anyway, time to shut this shit down.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Merry
Love your faces.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa to all of you.
Since we won't see Happy Christmas, festive Kwanzaa, an aloof Boxing Day to you and yours. Goodbye.